freshman, the legend in the plans. Please listen every day to the showcase. The opinions and knowledge that anyone can take. Showing you how it is done. Proving I am number one. What a legend becomes. This is now my time to show you that I am here. This podcast just to make it loud and clear. By the fans, for the fans. Not many whose head can understand everything pro wrestling. It can never be you. Listen to the podcast here for the people. The best show that's here, so listen in. Let the knowledge begin. The opinion and the lesson. Yes.
All right, folks, welcome to Everything Pro Wrestling. Everything Pro Wrestling is a show by the fans for the fans. I'm your host, Conrad Cushman, here today rocking some Everything Pro Wrestling merch. You guys need to go and cop yourselves some. But we're doing an AEW all-out roundtable. As you guys can see, we've got some very special guests on here to introduce themselves. We're going to be talking everything about AEW, what's going to happen at the show, some other questions that I have for my guest at the same time. So hopefully you guys can get on in here and enjoy some of it. I'll be highlighting some of your comments if you are in the chat section. There's no intro video. We're just going to have straight discussion today. So first, let's start with the young lady to it's my right looking at her, to my left. So go ahead.
Hi guys, I'm Tiffany. I'm the queen of the indies, and I'm part of the No Holds Barred network, and I never sleep, so I have a million podcasts, right? I feel like I have a million podcasts, and I never sleep between All Elite Podcasts, Indie Talks, Wrestle Forum, Under the Ropes, and I'm basically your, obviously, queen of the indies, so I love my indie scene, and I love my AEW. So, yeah.
Make sure you guys check Tiffany out. She is all over YouTube on the No Holds Barred network. Like I said, tremendous. If you love indie wrestling, Tiffany is who you're going to want to see. We also have someone, if you've been listening to the audio portions or you guys hear me on YouTube, I have been plugging this man's podcast very often. A good friend also interviewed my man Brian Williams. So if you're a fan of video games, you can always talk to Jesse. Jesse from the Pro Wrestling Shoot. Welcome, brother.
How's it going, guys? I'm getting some audio feedback in here.
It might be from the headphones.
Yeah, I unplugged them, and I'm just rehearing everything everybody's saying.
Do you have the chat open, maybe? That's why. Mute it.
Yeah, or if you have the YouTube version of it open,
you have to mute it.
From that too.
It might be pulling into your desktop sound.
Yeah.
We have two streams open.
Let me see here. Go ahead and go to the next person. I'll introduce myself here in a minute. I got to figure out this issue.
Mr. Fowl, go ahead and do your thing.
Hello, my name's Fowl Original. Am I even on? Can you even hear me? Is this even live? Yes,
I hear you, Fowl.
Hello. Hi. So this is me on, like, what are we on? Hour 5 of doing podcast appearances. Hello. So hi, I'm Fowl Original. You can find me on Twitter at Fowl_original. I do memes and stuff now. I've become a meme boy. I don't know what happened, but maybe I've always been a meme boy inside. But yes, I do memes and stuff now. I also do music, and my podcast is available on youtube.com/FowlOriginalWrestling, where we do the weekly wrestling recap every single Wednesday, where we talk about wrestling 5 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. UK time. And it's just a show which I put together in about 15 minutes before showtime, and then it shows.
It's a great show. I love the bright side.
Sorry,
of the
self-deprecation. Self-deprecation. I've just been on a British podcast, so we do that, and then that would have been a great moment for us all to start talking about the Queen, not of the Indies, of the Commonwealth.
Of Commonwealth. I love the tie as well, good sir.
It's practical, so y'all don't know, but you guys all run with your $1,000 microphones. I ain't got no time for that. I got one here, but this one isn't that good.
There you go.
So my microphone is a little thing, but the problem is I'm quite hairy. I'm not like that's for you. I'm quite hairy, you see. Yeah, I'm not like, so I'll put it on myself before, and you can just hear the rustle of the thistle. So I figured, put it on a tie, be all classy if I'm going to be on video.
And Fowl is great. He's got all his content on YouTube. Make sure you subscribe to his channel as well. We got to go to Malik feels he is too good to put his real name in here. Malik is actually TikTok famous. If you guys haven't seen, if you've been on Bleacher Report, I've seen people share stuff to the group and they're like, hey, check out this really funny wrestling video. And I'm like, guys, you know that's Malik who's in the group, right? And they're like, what? That is? And I'm like, yeah, he's right here. And then Malik, let people know who you are.
No, I only put the name just to be funny. You already know who it is. I've been on the channel a couple times. YouTube channel is Narcolepsy Boy 94. Pretty much on my platform, Narcolepsy Boy, for my YouTube channel, podcast, TikTok, Instagram, all that stuff. I'm excited to be here. It's been a while since I've been on the channel, so we do a lot of stuff together, but this is going to be fun. Talking some AEW.
All right. And let's see. Jesse, do you have the sound issue under control? Are you good? It looks like he's getting some delay, maybe. Can you hear us?
I can hear you on top of everything that you've already previously said.
Okay. Yeah, I have no idea why you're getting that.
I don't know.
Maybe you should try taking it out and putting it back in. Sometimes it helps. Like
Okay. I'll back out real quick.
Just click the link again and then come back in.
You know, the stream, sometimes it always, I remember we used to have the same thing with Google Hangouts when we used to do the Google Hangouts podcast.
It happens.
It's okay. Technical
It's the joy
difficulties.
of,
Nothing can bother me as far as that goes. Let's see what people. Let's show some love to the chat right now for who's in here. We got to give a big shout out. Ace was the first one in here. Ace, what's happening, brother? Good to have you in here. We've got Mr. Connor also in the house. Connor, what's good? Chris DeZuba's in here. You guys may even talk to the Queen of the Indies as she is in the chat. As well. Hello.
Look at Ray. You're in the chat as well. Oh wait, I need to get in the chat as well. Sorry.
Look at Ray.
Hi, Ray.
What's going on, Ray? The hashtag Chop Ray movement is real at all the indie events.
Yeah, I saw that chop. I saw that almost chop the other day. I saw you got away with it, Ray. I saw that almost chop.
There's a lot of chops. I turned it into gifts. I don't know how many people we've had Chop Ray. I think we need to make a list of all the people, but it's a real thing, guys.
Yeah, definitely. The Chop Ray gifts are going to continue. Original Biggie is also in the house. What is going on, Obi-Wan? Rob is in here as well. What's good?
What up,
Five Nerds Go. What's going on?
Yo, Five Nerds Go. You're here for my beard.
Only here for Fowl's beard. I get it.
I've been the beard for many. And Mags is here. I've been the beard for many, many people before. Thank you so much for being the beard for you today. Right.
Exactly. Jesse, can we have you introduce yourself now?
We're good, man. Everything's working good. My name is Jesse Carter. I'm from the Pro Wrestling Shoot. We do interviews of professional wrestlers, some ex-WWE stars, TNA, you name it. We do independent stars. We do reviews on current product, old product. If you've listened to stuff from Conrad Thompson, I'm sure you're familiar with doing some old reviews. Yes, I know. If you haven't heard of him, I mean,
there's only one Conrad in podcasting.
Hey. Sorry about that, man. But yeah, you can catch us on Facebook at the Pro Wrestling Shoot, Instagram, the Pro Wrestling Shoot. You can follow me on Twitter at Carter Inc. CARDERINC. We're currently not doing any video streams at this moment, but it's getting there. We're still up and coming, so give us some time.
That's why you're on the show. Wanted to show some love to everybody. I've worked with all of you before in some capacity, so I'm glad to have you guys on. And the main thing is with the wrestling community, I kind of wanted to unite everybody because right now we're going through some like weird times. Like there's days where I feel like really good about everything that's happening. People are working together. And then I see some of my friends aren't doing podcasts anymore. And it's like, oh man, this all hurts. But I still think it's important to keep your circles tight and just talk. I have private chats with all of you guys like going on. And I consider you guys like my wrestling friends, people who I can just talk to even about regular things. So wrestling community, stay tight is what I'm saying. And just be right, do right by each other. Let's talk AEW All Out, shall we? My first question coming through for all of this is, AEW is not on a network like WWE. There is no paid subscription that you get to see this pay-per-view. Is this pay-per-view worth the price to you as we go in? Are you willing to spend the $50 on this? Let's start with Tiff first.
Well, of course I'm gonna spend the $50 for it. I mean, I do run an AEW podcast, so but I mean, I wouldn't be doing an AEW podcast if I didn't believe in the product, right? So I always say that. I love wrestling, and I like to watch what I enjoy. And if I don't enjoy it, I'm not going to watch for it. So I feel the same thing. And $50 is a lot for a pay-per-view, but I love AEW, and I'm always happy after, no matter what happens. So you're always getting that entertainment factor.
Okay, I respect it. Let's go to Malik. We'll go right down the line here.
I thought my days of spending money on pay-per-views were over until AEW came out. So I think it's worth it, yeah, because I'm like her. I enjoy the product. I mean, why not support the cause of it? You know what I mean? They don't have a network, so obviously you got to watch it somehow. Some people like do the free streaming stuff, but I like to support the cause of AEW, so I buy the pay-per-views. I don't know if the card is as big as it was last year. I think last year had a lot more hype to it, but I think the card's pretty solid, though. I mean, it's AEW. They always mix things together. You know what I'm saying? Like they like to do different stuff, which I appreciate. So they like to do stuff with certain superstars. So I'm gonna buy it. Yes, I think it's worth it, and I think people should buy it if you're going to watch it.
Okay, Jesse.
Oh, absolutely, man. AEW always delivers in my eyes. So I have to agree with Malik. I don't think the card looks as big as it was last year, but I still think that they got some surprises, and it's definitely worth the $50. I mean, I also thought that my days of buying pay-per-view were over, but I can definitely say that I've bought some worse pay-per-views in my time when it came to old WWF programming and WCW days.
I thought you were going to say Heroes of Wrestling. Woo! I was going to play for you, brother.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's worth it, man. I think everybody will enjoy the show. It's a little tough watching it without the fans, but at the same time, they're still delivering.
The majority of fans back, right? Like 10% or something like that. Like
15% for this show, so it's going to be even louder than it's been on Dynamite recently. So hopefully nobody ruins that for them.
Right.
Foul. What do you think? Is the $50 worth the price, good sir?
Well, this is. Oh wait, I can hear myself doubled. Wait a second, that's my fault. Wait, then bring it out. Sorry, I was just checking my sound. So, no, that's actually my own fault. That wasn't me taking the piss. Sorry. I'll explain later. I've got a weird sound setup. Anyway, so that's a bit of a different. Sorry, 5 minutes ago talking about Tolly. Yes, he did turn up, but we're not talking about AEW. So it's not $50 where I come from in my neck of the woods. It's not, because it's on FITE. So for us, it's a different question. It comes in at 20, so it's £20 for us. So I think that translates to about $24 or $25, which is still a lot of money. Now, it's a pretty good card for 20 quid. The thing about AEW is when it's a $50 card, that's a lot of money. But as Tiffany said, I'm really entertained after seeing every single AEW show, and I think both of you, Malik and Jesse, have said that as well. It's a good product, and for $50, they're not every single month. We're not expecting you to pay $50 every single month. This is almost maybe sometimes 4 times a year, and 4 times a year when you're getting an amazing weekly product for free on TV. I know it's on cable, but it's free essentially. That's a really good price for being able to support them. And at $50 I'd buy it as well. I think the cards a bit weird because it's all gimmick matches, but AEW is all about, on paper sometimes it doesn't look great, but in execution it always is fantastic, in my opinion. So let's give him a second, because the Mimosa match could be legendary, and even this cinematic match beforehand, like the Britt match, which I'm guessing we're going to talk about before on the kickoff, that could be something really special as well. I'm really excited for these things, and that's going to be for free on YouTube before we even get to, so that isn't part of your $50, but in theory you're paying something towards it. So the answer, yes, but British prices, not US prices.
I respect it, Foul. And let me give a quick shout out to 5 Nerds Go. DJ Kirby Mags is also in the house. And No Lara, thank you for coming in here and joining us for this as well. Now, Foul, you had mentioned a certain G word before, and you are helping with FITE, aren't you, a little bit now? I'm going to let you plug that a little bit.
Oh, snap. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So it's been like the past few months have been, oh my God. So yeah, if you're watching Dynamite, so first of all, big thank you to FITE. They have been really helpful to me over the past few years. Really nice people there. And I got chance to speak to the COO the other day. He's a nice guy as well, Michael Weber, really good guy. And I'm now working for them in a capacity where I'm just starting now doing chat moderation. We're looking to do some more stuff in the future, hopefully. I did my first one on Wednesday night. So that was last night for Dynamite. I was in their live chat. I'm a black belt in the live chat, which means like I'm an admin or something. And I'm going to be doing it again next Wednesday. So I won't be doing the watch-alongs anymore. But if you're watching internationally, AEW Dynamite every single week, this guy is going to be in the chat, like causing mayhem in the chat, but also memeing, because I can't forget about the memes. And I almost did that on Wednesday. And So yes, go to fight.tv/AEW, I guess. And then like I'll be in there somewhere. But I'm very excited and I'm really thankful to them asking in the first place. Like that was a really nice gesture. Especially when you're mental like me and up at 1 o'clock in the morning on a Wednesday, then I guess it makes sense, doesn't it?
I give you guys a lot of credit for being able to doing that. And Val, you mentioned the G word, gimmicks. Speaking of gimmicks, gotta talk about the Manscaped here, the Lawnmower 3.0. I know there's some people in the chat who need this bad boy. I know you need this. I'm looking at you. You need the Lawnmower 3.0. Go to manscaped.com and I'll save you 20%. You guys can save 20% and get the Lawnmower 3.0. The ladies love it. The ladies can use it as well. We do not discriminate on this show. So, fellas, make sure you trim those balls. I'm going to say it. Trim those balls. We want a well-groomed person out there in these streets. And not only can you get that, we've got boxers. Obviously not my size because that's why they're in the package, but you can get boxers from Manscaped. We even have some other cool things. The foot duster. It's the end of summer, fellas. And I know some of you like to go out in your slides and your sandals. I know about those feet. No woman has ever said a guy has nice feet. So use the foot duster, the ball toner, the ball deodorant. Get it all and do it on me. Save yourself 20%. EPW shows the promo code. Use the same promo code for powerslam.tv. And I'm going to take some time to show some love to Everything College Basketball. And Jesse got to plug his podcast, but check him out again too, because I put them in the podcast every single week. So that's a little free one on me. You guys don't have to talk about balls in the chat anymore. You don't have to compare it to my bald head. I know it's coming anyway, though, so I appreciate it. Let's talk some pro rap.
Before you move on, can I just say, Conrad is the master of the transition, and I watch his post shows like pretty much every single week for Dynamite and for NXT. And there's a few people from my community that pop in, and they're like, "This guy Conrad is the master of the transition." Like one day when it comes to the time that I've got any product, I'm sending them all to him. Like, and because he's going to transition, he's like life transitions, mate. In it, you know what I'm saying? Nice. I just want to show some love. Because every single week, man, you get me every time. You got me again.
Listen, you just set it up and I knock it out the park. Baseball style, baby. Let's talk the buy-in first and foremost. AEW's got this crazy-ass schedule. I was going to get like the picture and put it up here. I can't because there's way too many times. Just something starts at 5. There's red carpet at 5:30. I can't keep up with it. Go to YouTube. Subscribe there, order the pay-per-view however you're going to order it, whatever. The buy-in is going to be the pre-show, we'll call it. And the match we're going to talk about is the tooth and nail match with Big Swole. Shout out to Monteezy for the theme. And Dr. Britt Baker, a tooth and nail match. Listen, Britt Baker, perfect heel. Nobody likes the dentist. If you say you like going to the dentist, I think there's something wrong with you. There is no way people like someone scraping against their teeth. And I kind of want Big Swole to knock her out going into this. So I'm sure as many of you we were in that media call earlier today with Tony Khan, and he kind of gave his reasoning for why this match got bumped to the pre-show. Fowl brought up all the gimmick matches earlier, and he kind of said there's a lot of gimmick matches on the show, and this match is going to be cinematic because Big Swole said she's going to the office. I want to go around real quick and just say, why do you guys think this match is in this place, and are you happy with it? And give me your prediction on who's going to win. Let's start with Tiff.
So originally I was not happy with this being in the buy-in, and I still kind of feel that this should be on the main card because I feel like this is the one story that we've been getting for months, right? This is one of the best stories that have been told in the last couple of months. And I've been so behind it, and it made me believe everything between Britt and Swole, and I was like, damn, I can't wait. And right, Britt Baker said, okay, this is gonna happen at All Out like months ago. So now it's going into the buy-in. But again, I was in the press conference as well, so I understand it. And like I said, I can kind of understand the business side, and then I understand the fan side. So as a business plan here, it makes sense to go into the buy-in because you're getting this match for free on YouTube, right? And the whole point is for you to pay-per-view the event. So I don't know. But I am gonna go with Big Swole on this. I'm rooting for her, even though I did my own predictions with Kyle and Ray earlier, and I don't know, they kind of swayed me a little bit. So I hate doing these predictions sometimes.
My goal is to get you to flip-flop on all three of the shows that you've done so that you have different predictions for every match, Tiff. If you didn't know, that was the goal.
3 prediction shows. And yeah, I feel like it's funny because this is what always happens when you start doing these podcasts with other people and you start hearing things and you're like, and I love that about AEW is that you really don't know who's going to win. And I like that, and it's refreshing. So, but you know what? I'm just going to stick with my gut here, and I'm going to go with Big Swole, and she's going to beat her ass. So I just hope Britt Baker doesn't get hurt again.
Mr. Malik, who you got for this one?
So I'm with her. I got Big Swole for the win too. A lot of people, I've seen a lot of people going through Twitter and everything. A lot of people feel like that AEW's women's division is kind of weak, like they don't use the women's division properly, which I kind of understand. And I understand why they may move it to the pre-show because there are a lot of gimmicky matches on this card. But I think it could also do good things for the buy-in. You know what I'm saying? Like you get to watch it for free, so it could kind of set the tone for the AEW card. Maybe for people who, you know what I'm saying, who don't want to buy the pay-per-view, kind of get a feel. I know some people there's still people that I talk to who kind of fallen out with wrestling, and they've been asking, because they've been asking me, they'll like to keep updates with stuff, and they've seen some of my videos and stuff like that on TikTok, and they'll be like, hey, what's good to watch nowadays? And I always mention AEW, like, hey, you got to check out AEW. Like, it's good stuff. It's different, and I think you should get into it. And one of the things that I always recommend is the women's division. I think they got a lot of talent in that women's division, but I do kind of feel like the women's division is kind of not used maybe to the full potential that it could be, if that makes sense. I seen something the other day that says, WWE doesn't know how to use the tag teams, and AEW is better using tag teams, and WWE uses the women's division better than AEW does, which I can kind of see people's points to that. You know what I mean? Because the women's with the women's revolution happening years ago, the women's wrestling is very more important, than it has been in years. You know what I mean? Like growing up, in my era, and a lot of people's era, women's wrestling was never taken seriously. You know what I mean? So nowadays, it's taken more seriously, and I like, like I said, I like the story that they built to this. I do think it could have been on the regular AEW card, but I mean, at some point, fans also got to understand that there has to be something on the quote unquote pre-show. You know what I mean? Like there has to be a match that has to be on the pre-card before the main card. So I guess with the gimmicky matches, this is something that they thought could start the tone. So I like it, but I also think that it could have been on the main card too. But I think Big Swole is going to take the win here, though. But I think it's going to be a good match though as well.
I think me and Tiff. So I listened to Tiff's shows earlier, actually. So this is why I'm also with Ray. I'm trying to get her to sway, even though she called it Nini, so I guess that makes me one too. I would argue with you though that you spent so much time building this up. This match is probably in the top 3 buildups on this card, and you have it on the listen. Tony Khan redeemed himself on the media call once he explained his logic, and I think that really helps sometimes to understand, because wrestling business and what wrestling fans want don't always mix. All the time. It's like oil and water, and I'm sure we're going to get into that later on, especially if we get into the women's division thing a little bit more, which I'm sure we will.
But you know, sometimes fans don't look at it that way. You know what I mean? Like sometimes fans don't look at the business side of the wrestling stuff. You know what I mean?
No, you're definitely correct on that. Sorry, and I'm writing down everybody's pick. Malik, who are you taking for this?
Big Swole. Big Swole.
Okay, all right, Jesse.
I'm actually really excited for the cinematic version of this match. I really enjoyed what WWE did on the cinematic sides. So AEW has also done a couple of them. I'm actually enjoying that. It's a way to watch it without getting distracted, without having fans, I guess. I thought it was a little weird that they added it to the pre-show, but at the same time, it's kind of another way to showcase the women, right? Because more people are going to watch this on YouTube than they probably will on pay-per-view. They're going to watch the buy-in, but they're not going to watch the actual card itself. You know, a lot of people can't order the pay-per-view. I understand what he was going with. It is quite the build-up for it to be on the pre-show, but you know, hey, how's it going, Drew? And yeah, you know, I'm excited for the match. I'm taking Big Swole. She's done really well in AEW, and I continue seeing her progress. So I'm excited for this one.
I like it. Who's your prediction to win?
Big Swole.
Another Big Swole. Okay. Mr. Fowl.
Hello. I am going to be I'm going to be the not conscious. I can't even think of the word. Contrarian. That's the one. I'm going to be the contrarian here. I'm going to say Britt Baker. Yeah. My reasoning. Number one, yeah, I totally agree with all of your points about like it should be on the main show. But I also empathize with the fact that there's probably a lot of people out there that have watched just this on free TV and they've become really invested in this story. And what Tony Khan said on that media call, because I listened to it today as well, in preparation for this, it made a lot of sense what Tony said, like using YouTube as almost the funnel to bring people to the pay-per-view. That's a really smart thing. And if all you've been doing is watching it on TV and you're like, you know what, they've sold me on that, I feel like I owe them $50 now. Like it's almost like a roundabout fashion. But it has really been the best built story, and it's been the most Britt Baker has been one of the most entertaining parts of AEW Dynamite every single week, and she hasn't even got out of a chair. And like Big Swole and everything that happened like this last week in the go home, like I loved she put a tweet out saying never put pizza into a black woman's hair, and I was like, oh damn, this is on, like this is really on, in it. I was like, because I am of color, so my hair gets all ridiculously natted as well. So you don't want to put pizza in this hair. I feel her pain. Now, I think, though, that Britt Baker's going to win this. I love the idea that this is a cinematic match. I wasn't sure before, but now I feel like it makes it better that it's on the pre-show. Because if this was a cinematic match in the middle of the pay-per-view and they've got fans, that's probably a bit of a hard sell to say, cool, you've all turned up and now we'll sit and watch this screen for half an hour when they want to see stuff in the ring. Tony obviously said that Britt's maybe not fully 100% and they didn't want to risk it. So this is very smart. This is very smart. And I am just waiting to see Britt Baker. What I'm hoping is that we basically get like a remake of everything from Little Shop of Horrors, you know, the dentist stuff, yeah. That whole thing with Steve Martin, but extended to like 20 minutes. Like that's what I want to see. And I want to see Big Swole turn up at the office and then Britt Baker starts singing "I'm Your Dentist." I would literally pop for that mentally. And they're in Warner Brothers, so theoretically, you know, Warner Media, they might be able to pop them that Little Shop of Horrors like licensing over to them, put it on YouTube. It's theoretical. But yes, my win is probably going to be Britt Baker. And it's a shame it's not on the main show, but if you were someone that hadn't watched the show before and you were just flipping around on YouTube beforehand, I think it would sell you on the show, in my opinion. Like, especially a night full of gimmick matches, you'd be like, cool, that's their speed, I'm on it.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what they could do for this. I really wish they could get like Isaac Yankem for a guest spot. All my predictions are written down for the record, so I don't want to hear anybody saying I cheated or copied. I have Britt Baker winning this as well. I went back and forth in my head. I blame Tiffany for that for her show again earlier.
Sorry.
I'm taking Britt Baker for the W here. I just think you have to keep this storyline going, and there's more to it. We've got some. Is that Big Paws on a pup?
Oh, snap.
JPQ.
Oh, what's up?
It's the ghost pup.
What is going on? And listen, Jesse, we got to give a shout out. When Mama is watching, we got to give a shout out. Mama, how you doing?
Hey.
What's going on?
Hello.
Appreciate it. Appreciate you watching. Hopefully you guys are enjoying, hitting the like button, subscribing if you like it. We're gonna move on here though. Let's talk about the Young Bucks versus the Jurassic Express. I think this would be the perfect opener. So I thought that this match would go perfect to start off the show. The Young Bucks are coming off with a serious attitude now. They are pissed at Adam Hangman Page. They are angry at their friend. They are not going into his backyard anymore. They're not coming by. They are mad. Even when they did the money entrance yesterday. Sorry, I have to do it for everybody who likes it. The Young Bucks did not do the pose. And I always cry for whoever's got to pick up or sweep up that money. Why did they have that happen? And they just walked out serious. But it added a nice little touch to this. And the Jurassic Express, a fan favorite team, a team that I think everybody's been wondering, why don't they get more? In this one, I'm going to kind of let you guys free for all it a little bit here, but I really want you to kind of talk about the story with the Young Bucks and where do you think it's going and who do you have winning this? We're going to go in reverse order here a little bit. Let's go with Foul first to start.
I am so ready. Sorry, that sounded a little. That was not as manly as I hoped it was going to be. I am so ready for. Wait, that's still not as manly as I hoped it's going to be. I'm so ready for like the Bucks to turn heel. I'm so ready because like I love heel Bucks. I love them so much more than like face Bucks because they're such shitbags. I'm sorry. They're such they're like when they're heels, yeah, like because they don't do it in a kind of like they do it in a we are so good. Check out how good we are. And you can't argue with them when they're heels, which is why I love them for it. And like what I thought was really interesting was having this match on the Go Home show. So essentially you've both got to team up in a 4-man and then you face off against the people that was really smart, like a really smart little wrinkle to the story. And like, you can see them, Matt Jackson getting all like kind of pissy about it all. Like really pissy to the point where he's like, I don't care anymore. I just want to leave everyone. And obviously with Kenny, like and BTE and the sunglasses, I was like, I am really ready for them just to go, screw all you fans. You didn't, like to really like shoot on all the fans and to be dicks about it. And for like Paige to be all like, I don't know what to do. So with all that being said, I think it's a great opener. I totally agree. I think it's a great opener.
Who are you taking for this one, Foul?
I'm going to say it's going to be Jurassic Express, and that's going to push the Bucks
over the edge.
Not over the edge, but it's just going to put them on the teeter-totter. Like it's going to just push them a little bit closer towards it.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on the heel Young Bucks thing. Like, face Bucks are nice. Like I heard some people say that they thought Matt and Nick's promo with Paige, where they closed the door and the glass busted and everything else. They said it felt very BTE, like they feel like they weren't like the best of actors in it. I thought it worked perfectly for it. I thought that it's the character that I'm used to seeing them play, and I thought it worked out fine. Jesse, what do you think of this matchup here?
I'm gonna agree with everything Foul said. I'm gonna follow that, man. I think that was a great explanation. I'm not really used to seeing a heel Young Bucks, so it would be interesting to see, and I think that would be the way to do it, right? Because they're sort of on that losing streak to where they're just, they can't quite get to those titles, and it's just pushing them over the edge. And I think that I'm going to take Jurassic Express in this one as well. That's my go-to.
Okay. All right. Jurassic Express with 2 pickups here. Malik, Mr. TikTok famous. What do you think of this quickly made matchup between these 2 tag teams?
So, people who know me know I've been a huge fan of Luchasaurus for a long time. I followed his career for a long time. I remember when this dude was on Big Brother. I remember watching him when he was on Big Brother. I'm a huge fan of his. I'm picking Jurassic Express to win too because I like the idea that Fowl said about the heel Bucks because I think it's time for them to be heel. I think we all can agree heel Bucks are better than babyface Bucks. And I like, I think them losing could, like Fowl said, it's going to push them kind of on the edge. Not a full heel turn yet, but kind of maybe tease. Because, AEW is better at WWE. They're better at teasing things. And so WWE kind of just jumps into stuff quickly nowadays. They're better at teasing stuff, kind of giving the fans what they want. Like, we thought it was going to be tonight. We got to watch next week. Maybe it's going to be next week. It's not next week. Maybe it'll be the week after that. So at some point, I think they will do a full heel turn. I like the story with the Adam Page. I agree with you. I thought the promo was fantastic, actually, the backstage promo they did with Adam Page on them. Because, Page has been doing the alcohol gimmick thing for a while now, and he hasn't kind of been there fully, and he kind of been doing his own thing. And I like, the promo, and I like the idea of them kicking him out the Elite. You know what I'm saying? He's no more part of the Elite because he's not the same Adam Page. He can't get his head out of his ass, as they said. So they kicked him out. I think Jurassic Express is going to win. But maybe, maybe we see some type of, miscommunication or something. Maybe there's not like a clean win. Maybe, Page comes out and tries to do right by them or something. Tries to make up for what he did to them by costing him the match on Dynamite. Maybe he comes out and costs him the match again by mistake. And then that, that leads more to the extension of the heel turn. So I wouldn't be surprised if something like that happens, but I think Jurassic Express is going to win too. And I hope they continue to push these guys because I think Luchasaurus is one of their best talents that they have, especially for a big man. And Jungle Boy has always been a fan favorite. He's especially, his dad, Luke Perry, and everything. So he's always been a huge fan favorite too. So hopefully these guys can get a push in the tag team run. But I think Jurassic Express is taking the dub here.
So, Malik, I'm just going to ask you this one question. You can only answer yes or no.
Okay.
Could Luchasaurus be a main eventer with his gimmick now?
Yes, I think so, yes. And AEW, yes. I think AEW was.
Just yes or no, good sir.
Yes.
I wanted to leave it at that because some people don't think he can be.
I think so, yes.
Okay.
But he was never like Luchasaurus. That was kind of like the fans kind of gave him that when he was wrestling in Lucha Underground. That was kind of a thing that the fans started giving him. He used to be Judas before he was Luchasaurus, and that was kind of something that the fans, I think he did a match with like John Morrison or something like that, and it was like the dragon gimmick. But the fans were the one chanting Luchasaurus. Like the fans were the one who gave him that name. So
yeah, it was him and Jungle Boy, a boy and his dinosaur. They were announced, and then it was just money ever since that moment. They put them together as a team.
I think he can be many. Yes, AEW was.
I was going to say
yes. Go ahead, Val.
Oh, I was going to ask a question, Malik, yeah. So you've been following Luchasaurus for a while, yeah? I want to ask this question because if it hasn't happened yet, this is what I'm going to do tomorrow. Is there like a cover version of Deeper Underground by Jamiroquai which says I'm going Lucha Underground?
I'm not sure about that, to be honest.
I feel like there's money being left on the table there. Let me just write this idea down. Sorry, guys.
Oh, okay. It could be. It could be because I remember when he was in. Some people don't even know that he used to be in NXT. Like he was a part of NXT before NXT took off to kind of where it is now. But he got injured. I'm saying he had a severe, really bad injury, which kind of put him on the sidelines, and it really didn't have nothing to do with them because he spoke on it a couple of times that that I think Dusty Rhodes was really high on him, but I guess he had bad injury prone in NXT. Like he just couldn't stay healthy. You know what I mean? So he couldn't really get to his full potential. So he got released from NXT. Then he did the Big Brother TV show, which I don't know if you guys know what that is, but he did a TV show called Big Brother, which he was on. And then after that, he kind of did Lucha Underground for a little bit. He was kind of doing indie scene for a little bit, but then he started doing the Luchasaurus stuff, which kind of the fans kind of gave him that kind of gimmick stuff. So I think it could be a huge deal. I think they got a lot of money wise with it. You know what I'm saying? Is the gimmick is it a little cheesy? A little bit, yeah, because it's a dinosaur thing. But it's his in-ring ability, I think, is what makes fans love him so much because he's a big man, but he can do a lot of things in ring wise that a lot of big men aren't supposed to do because you know how wrestling can be like they don't want big men to do certain things like, oh, you're a big guy, You're not supposed to do that backflip. You're not supposed to jump off the top rope or do a springboard. You know what I mean? But he does all those things, and he's good at it. You know, he's a good wrestler, and I think a lot of money could be on the table potentially. Yes.
Tiff, I want to hear, who are you picking for this?
Sorry, I'm not changing my mind on this. I'm just
time out now. You do have an autograph from the Young Bucks. He even gave you the special Matt Jackson autograph. That's like your famous. You were on BTE for that, weren't you?
You've seen like little pieces of me on that BTE episode, but they didn't show that autograph on it, but you see me in the background with it, and then there's a bunch of pictures all over the place, and of course I have the footage. It's pinned on my Twitter account. I mean, I love the Young Bucks. It was always special to me that if you're a fan of BTE and the Young Bucks, I was like, I have to have the Matt autograph. And I have the same thing with Scorpio Sky with the chocolate kiss. I had to have this gigantic chocolate kiss, and Scorpio Sky was signing it. And his face was so funny also, because Kyle was dying laughing when the Scorpio Sky won, because he was like, he wanted to eat that. And I was like, mine. I'm like, it's memorabilia. It's on my shrine pretty much. But so I'm a huge Young Bucks fan. I love Matt Jackson. He's on my list of husbands, if you know me. I love Locomotion. I'm always tweeting about Locomotions, like my favorite move with Matt and everything like that. But I'm still sticking with my pick on this one as well, that I talked about this on the other two podcasts. I am upset at a private party. Okay, my boys, I'm always going to be biased. I'm not against SCU, but it makes sense. Young Bucks has to be on the pay-per-view, right? It just makes sense. And yes, heel Young Bucks are absolutely, anybody heel is amazing. That's just my opinion. I like heels better than I do faces. But I think mentally, and I know not all the time the stuff that we see on BTE doesn't always kind of come over to Dynamite and Dark and all that stuff like that. But I think all the last BTE that we got, and just like the mind of them all, what's going on with BTE and being out of the elite and stuff. So I feel like they're going to be off their game, the Young Bucks. And I'm a big stickler for the indie scene, and I used to support Jungle Boy all the time. I've seen him here in New York all the time. So, but these guys are great. Jurassic Express, they need that push. And they're going to be #1 contenders for whoever wins or retains the tag team titles over here.
So your final pick is
Jurassic Express.
All right. I have to be the odd ball.
Ooh. All right then.
And I'm going with the Young Bucks for the victory here. I think that this new edge is going to put them over in this matchup. I think they're going to show that aggressive side that we haven't seen since New Japan Ring of Honor. I think it's time, and I have more that's going to kind of have some synergy. Shout out to Colin West.
Yeah.
As soon as this all links up, so we'll have to wait till we get to it for that. Let's move into the Broken Rules match. It is a last man standing match here with Matt Hardy taking on the Spanish God, Sammy Guevara. This is going to be interesting because Matt Hardy said if he loses this match, he is leaving AEW. Matt doesn't have a lot of time left to be wrestling. Is this the point to where Matt Hardy is going to leave out and let someone else take over? Perhaps. And I wrote down one thing in this. This feud has been enhanced with time, blood, and social media presence, which I think both of them have used very well throughout all of this. In this matchup, I'll just go first in this. I'm taking Matt Hardy for the victory here. I cannot see Matt Hardy leaving AEW. Malik, who you got for this?
Matt Hardy. I mean, I'd feel different if he was in AEW for a while, but he just got there. Unless there's something like we don't know about, like maybe he's injured, or maybe his contract wasn't that long, or maybe he just wants to leave. I don't know. We haven't really heard anything. It's kind of hard to keep secrets nowadays, especially with social media. So I hadn't seen too much about him wanting to leave AEW, but I find it hard to believe since he just got there. I'm definitely picking Matt Hardy. I think this match will be very physical. There will be blood because they use a lot of blood in AEW. There definitely will be blood, which I love because as long as there's not too much blood, but I love when they use blood in matches because it makes it feel more intense. You know what I mean? Like it gets you more into it. I miss those days of wrestling. I miss when wrestling used to feel more like You know, we used to get hit in the head with something, people would bleed. Nowadays, you get hit with something, or you get thrown into a steel post, something like that, and people don't bleed too much, and it doesn't make it feel like. It just doesn't make it feel as intense to me. You know what I mean? Like, you know how
you want to get lost in the moment.
right? Like,
I know exactly what you're saying.
Like I used to feel like when, like, say somebody would get thrown into the ring post, right, and they get up and there's blood. You're like, oh snap! Like, it's getting real now. Like, it made you feel like, you know, it was getting more violent. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to get too extreme, like, you know, too crazy. But I miss those days of wrestling, and I think AEW brings those days back for me, which is why one of the reasons why I love the product so much. But I think Matt Hardy definitely is going to pick up the win here. But I think this is going to show the talent of Sammy Guevara. I think he's going to shine in this match very, very well. Even though he does, there's sometimes wrestling fans don't understand that you don't have to win a match to go over. It depends on how you look in the match. And I think Sammy Guevara is going to shine very bright in this match, losing, but he's still going to be the star coming out of this match.
I like that thought. Tiff, we're going to come to you next for your opinion. But first, Connor has a question for you. What is your favorite indie promotion if you had to pick one?
Oh, no, that's a trap right there. That's the trap question right there. I can't, because just, you know, there's too many promoters that will kill me if I don't give them.
You know what? Throw out a couple of your favorites off the top.
Okay, off the top. Okay, GCW, Synergy, and I'm gonna go with IWA as well. So, too many. It's very different promotions. Let's put it like that. Very, very. They're all very different. So, and I think that's what I love about the indie scene.
Tiff, go ahead and pick up from here though with the Broken Rules match. What do you think?
Okay, so I'm still sticking with my pick on this. I was complaining on all the podcasts today. I was like, what happened with Matt Hardy with my boys' Private Party? And like, he just got so focused on everything with Sammy G. I mean, understood, because we've had a story building here as well. But, you know, anything to do with my boys' Private Party, I'm going to get a little salty. So what happened with my boys? So I don't think he's going anywhere right now, because, you know, I think he's going to go back to my boys. But I love the fact that Sammy's young, right? Sammy's so talented, right? Like, I loved him from day one. He's absolutely amazing. And how cool is this that you get to work with Matt Hardy? Like, this is awesome. So Sammy's got a lot of the upper hand lately, and then we've pissed off a lot of people with the chair shot that we see with Matt Hardy. So, but again, like I said, this is Matt Hardy, but Sammy's gonna look so good in this match. He's already a star, and I'm telling you, this kid, he's going to have the AEW championship one day. But today, well, Saturday, Matt's taking up the win here.
Okay. Rob seems to agree with you. He said he wants more big money Matt with Private Party. If losing here eventually leads to him permanently managing them, I'm good. Robert, don't try and put him in the Michael Hayes role. All right. I don't want Matt Hardy coming out wearing the long tails and everything. Private Party. Oh man. Jesse, what do you think for this one, brother?
I agree, man. I think it's just too soon to have Matt Hardy call it quits in the AEW. We haven't seen nearly enough of him. I do think Sammy's going to shine in the match, but I mean, it could be possible that Sammy wins and they pull an angle where, you know, he comes back completely broken or, you know, anything like that. But I just don't see them going with that. I see Matt Hardy getting the victory in this one, and then possibly leading to a further feud, or maybe continuing where he left off with Private Party.
Yes, it looks like Original Biggie was agreeing with you, Malik. He said when wrestling was wrestling, as far as what you were saying before. Also, we got Renegade saying he's taking Sammy G for the victory here. Who knows what this could lead to as far as things getting changed up. Foul, who are you taking for this matchup here, good sir?
So the very good points, everyone. I mean, like, we know that Matt hasn't got a lot of time left when it comes to his in-ring career, and he doesn't have a lot of time left when it comes to life and just generally, and it's like 1 a.m. I'm joking, but like, he doesn't have a lot of time left. So I think that more than likely, like, there's something that, like, there's what I really love about AEW, and I think a lot of people have said it on many an occasion, is the storyline depth. So there's a lot of depth to what goes on within stories, and there's certain, like, little almost like future shadows, like foreshadowing that could or could not be wrapped up. So one of the things that Matt Hardy said was when he came back as Matthew Hardy, he goes, I wanted to show my kids that Matthew Hardy was also relevant and that I could wrestle as Matthew Hardy. I didn't have to be broken or any of that stuff. So this story has another little wrinkle for me then. Sammy will beat him. That's my prediction. And Sammy will then take away this Matthew Hardy. So I think similar to what you're saying, Jesse, is that he comes back as broken. Yeah. And essentially Matt Hardy leaves AEW and now it's just the Variety Hardy show again. And we'll get all of those Hardys back. I think it would be cool to see. I loved what he was doing with Private Party. I absolutely loved that. If you could look at any person in the world to help mentor that team, both in ring and in just presentation and slowing down a little bit sometimes, it's that guy, because that guy's lived that life. He's lived 20 years of that, 20, almost 30 years of that. So he can say, guys, yeah, don't do that. Because in 25 years, your back's going to hurt a lot. And I love that, like, there's a respect there as well. But with all of that, I think it's going to be a hell of a match. I hope that it's cinematic in a way. I hope that they film some stuff around and we get a little bit of craziness happening. But I think this is one of Sammy's nights to shine. I really do. And yeah, so Sammy for the win, Ethan.
I like what you said too. I really do want to see one of those Hardy compound matches with these two, and I think that's something served for like a Dynamite main event. So Tony's got some tricks up his sleeve if he did want to get to a match like that eventually. Let's go over this next matchup here with the Dark Order versus this weird, like, I feel like this is like a Survivor Series team. Sorry, I'm using the WWE reference here of Scorpio Sky, Matt Cardona, Dustin Rhodes, and QT Marshall. The Dark Order will be represented by Brodie, the new TNT champion, Colt Cabana, Evil Uno, Stu Grayson. This is quite different. So we've got many different stories being told here. Scorpio Sky is supposed to be this uprising new star that's coming out. Is he going to be able to rise to the occasion? We have the Dark Order who just got the TNT championship. What are they going to do? Lots of things here. And the first thing is Cody is part of this story. He's the focus, but he ain't around because he got his ass whipped, if you will, Mac and Dream style. He is out right now. I don't know. Who do you guys got for this one? This is going to be a different one to call here. Let's start with Jesse.
I'm picking the Dark Order, man. They're on a roll lately. So as much as I don't like the gimmick, I know I'm going to get some hate for that, but it still hasn't really got over with me. Not enjoying it. And I think it's quite confusing that Cody is not a part of this pay-per-view, considering he main evented All In pretty much. And, started All Out. And yeah, it's just weird not seeing him on the card. I'd like to see the TNT title be put on the line, but instead we have a Survivor Series match, like you would say.
So were you a fan when Brodie won the title? Were you shocked?
I wasn't, man. I'm a Cody man. So
me too. But I was weird. I was watching it, and then when I heard like the 3 count for the final pinfall, I was like, "Yo, they just John Cena, Cody Rhodes. Like, what is this? He just got Brock Lesnar, John Cena from SummerSlam."
I will give it this. It was a shock factor for me to watch that. I couldn't believe that they just buried him pretty much in a squash match. But so I guess if they're trying to keep it, as a shock factor on Dynamite, see what's going to happen, then they did a good job. But I was not happy with Cody losing the belt.
Okay. All right. Let's see here. Foul. What do you think for this one?
Well, this match, and I say it in the nicest way possible, but this match reminds me of, do you remember like at that WrestleMania? I can't remember what it is right now, 1 o'clock in the morning, etc. But like, do you remember the WrestleMania? Like when, or it might have not been WrestleMania. No, it was WrestleMania when the Alliance first happened, and they had like this random big man match, and it was like some big men versus some other big men. One of the big men was the Big Show. Like, It might have even been Invasion, actually. It feels like it was Invasion.
Right.
I can't remember what he was. Like, I think he spun around a few times. It's an interesting match. It's interesting. It's nice to get them all on there. I'm really interested to see what Matt Cardona does. I kind of like, it's weird because that 4-man team almost feels like the mid-card team, like the team of mid-carders, whereas I would probably argue that Scorpio Sky is an upper level mid-carder right now. I would probably argue that Matt Cardona is probably lower middle card within AEW until he gets a chance to really show anything off. And Dark Order is strong as hell. Like, Jesse, after that beatdown, my God, like, you know, we were all complaining like, oh, Cody, he's just winning all the matches. That was a pure shock factor. The guy was basically like just brockerized in the middle of the ring.
I wasn't complaining. I was on the victory mountain with him, man. I'm full supporter of Cody, so
yeah, like, but that match, that just kind of ripped the rug out from under all of us, and it was like, damn, that means that the Dark Order should be taken seriously. And like, obviously, the Dark Order are on BTE quite a lot, and that's where a lot of their story is told. And I think it was great, but in the two teams, I would hope that the Dark Order win, just to keep the momentum going.
Yeah, they got to keep that momentum.
Because it's taken a long time for them not to be jokes. On BTE, they're kind of jokes, but in like a lovable, affable way. But on Dynamite, like, I love them on BTE. I love all the stuff that they do. Like, I love the John Silver stuff. I love Mr. Brodie Lee, just going crazy on everyone and being like, what the? But now that they've got there, I want them to keep that. So I would say Dark Order to win, and the mid-card team, unfortunately, will take the loss here. But Matt Cardona won't. I think it's going to be QT Marshall, Ian a pin.
Malik, who are you taking for this?
So I'm going with Dark Order 2. This definitely kind of feels like a match that was kind of just like thrown together just to put on the show. You know what I mean? But I like the Dark Order though. I've been a huge Brodie. I've been a fan of Brodie Lee since he was Luke Harper. I've always thought he was one of the people of the Wyatt family that stood out differently. I always thought he was really good. WWE just never used him to his full potential because they never saw anything in him. And I like, you know, the squash match. It did kind of give the, you know, the Brock Lesnar, John Cena vibe, you know, the shock factor. Kind of, oh wow, this was surprising. And I've been a huge Cody fan too. I've been a huge Cody fan since he was part of Legacy with him and Ted and Randy back in the day. I think the reason he's not on the show, I think it's a good factor because it could tell a good story. You know, he got beat down, keep him off TV for a while. It could do maybe like a redemption storyline type thing, or like some type of revival storyline. You know, how he got beat down so bad, and he when he comes back, maybe he shows up at, you know, Dynamite. Maybe he makes it like a surprise kind of return. It comes out maybe after the match and starts fighting Brodie Lee or something with that aspect. Just because he's not on the card doesn't mean he won't show up. You know, so maybe he does show up during the match or maybe sometime after the match. But I think the story between Cody and Brodie can be extended because of how he lost the match. And I think that I was upset when he lost, but I understood as long as it's going to tell a good story. If they just did it just to do it, then it's kind of pointless. But if it's going to tell a story in the future, maybe like how Cody, you know, he was doing the open challenges and him getting squashed. Maybe, like I said, they do some type of revival storyline, or maybe he feels like, you know, the way, or maybe he comes back different. Maybe his character changes when he comes back. Maybe he comes back a little bit, you know, different. Maybe he comes back a little bit more, you know, like, you know, serious Cody or something. I don't know, but I think Dark Order is going to win. I think Dark Order is one of the. I'm the opposite, Jesse. I like Dark. I think they're one of the best things AEW has right now. So I like the team. I like Mr. Brodie Lee, and I'm happy that I'm happy they're finally doing some right things by Mr. Brodie Lee, because his
That's
WWE
good, man.
His WWE run was not good, and it should have been a lot better, because he was probably, if you look at the Wyatt family, he was the best wrestler out of the group. You know, Bray Wyatt was the best character, but out of the Wyatt family, I thought he was the best wrestler in the group. So he always had full potential. They just never did anything right with him. So I'm happy.
I think you said a good thing here, Malik. Like, the Dark Order seems like it's an acquired taste for some people. Like, either some people really love them or some people hate them, and it's just very different. And I think so Tiff has probably the most interesting perspective on this, because she has this like love-hate thing with Cody when I listen to her talk about him sometimes on the podcast. And Brodie Lee said, I'm not here to put over indie guys. You're not coming in anymore. I'm the champ. I'll decide who I defended against. And I thought it was interesting. So, Tiff, what do you think of all of this?
So I love the fact that Cody lost the belt, right? Because you're getting like heel tip now. I'm saying it. Fight me. I don't really care.
Heel tip is money. Heel tip is money.
I don't care, guys. Like, it was funny because our friend Smart to Death Anthony, he was like, I know Tip's probably not going to be happy about this. And I'm like, no, Tiffany's very happy about this. I was like, so I love the fact that he got squashed. And I was like, yes. I was like, I love it. So I'm sorry, but hey, like that's just me. So I really loved it. But again, like I love the fact that we got all our indie guys to get shots at Cody. And I do agree with the fact that I hate that we're not getting this belt on the pay-per-view. It should be on the pay-per-view. I'm sorry. I do not like 8-man tags. There's too much that goes on. It's too chaotic for me. It's too much lately on AEW. You're getting heel tip right now. This sounds salty right now.
I think they have a unique opportunity here, though. I think what they didn't want to do was beat someone like Scorpio Sky again.
I get it, and I love Scorpio Sky, right? And again, like here I am, Queen of the Indies, and then we're gonna go to Wrestle Circus, and here was Scorpio Sky, and he was the champion, and he was so good. And yes, he deserves a single run. What the hell is he doing in this match? Like, I'm sorry, I don't get it.
I feel like he reminds me of Sting from like 1988 to like 1991. Like he is the upper mid-carder. He's just there to Dudley do right, and you shouldn't be doing that to him. He gave me a fair shot, and that's my buddy. That's how I feel with him.
I know Conrad agrees with me with how I feel about Scorpio Sky, and I talk about this all the time on All Elite Podcasts, and I'm like, I hated the fact that he got 10 minutes up against Jericho. That should have been a pay-per-view match for the AEW title. So it's like, stop sleeping on Scorpio Sky. Why is he in this match? I'm salty.
Honestly, I think he's here for the heat. I'm sorry, Tiff. Let me get your prediction first before I say what I'm going to say.
My prediction is Dark Order needs to look strong in here. So I think I either think Dustin or QT is eating this pin. So
I think QT is here to eat the pin. But I think watch all of this,
Scorpio Sky's gonna take the pin. Watch, and everybody's gonna be mad.
Well, here's the only way I see Scorpio Sky doing it. I think Matt Cardona could turn and join the Dark Order.
Oh,
he's had a similar look. Why not have him become to Brodie Lee, like become his second in charge, saying, you guys better start listening to Mr. Brodie, start slapping people around. He's a bigger guy. I think it would work very well. And
they have been giving out applications for Dark Order, so they've been
you never know.
Malik is Cody going heel when he comes back? I guess we'll go around real quick. Yes or no? Is Cody going to become a heel? I don't think right away. No,
I don't think he's going to be heel. But I think when he comes back, like I said, it could be like a redemption story. So he comes back maybe a little bit more serious. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think maybe not full heel. At some point, he has to be heel. I feel like because he's a really good heel.
Well, I thought he was being overconfident every week in the title. We started seeing him. He's the Prince of Pro Wrestling. And I was just like, oh, God, this is why people hate him. Why is he doing this? And I kept thinking more and more. And then when he got squashed by Brodie, I'm like, was that just to prove that he was overconfident? And Arn was telling him, like, hey, you better focus on what you're doing. Foul, what do you think? Heel?
So my hope is that he comes back and him, the Bucks, and Kenny, they just reform the Elite, and Paige is just a drunken mess. But they reform heel Elite. So they basically come back because Cody's obviously now lost the TNT Championship, the championship that was his. The Prince of Pro Wrestling thing, he was getting ever so cheeky. It wasn't even on being overconfident. That was being dick. So I think he comes back. I hope that he comes back as heel, and he says to the Bucks and Kenny, "Yo, let's do this thing. Let's take it back for us," because of course there's factions everywhere now. There's the Dark Order, there's Inner Circle. I hope that he comes back and says we're strongest when we're together, swerves all our asses at the next big live show, which won't be AEW's All Out. I'm guessing it'll be whatever's next, which was not November last time, wasn't it? November-y,
yeah.
It was, wasn't it Full Gear? So
yeah, November was Full Gear.
Yeah.
Jesse, what do you think? You're the Cody fan here.
I don't think it's going to happen. As much as I love him being a heel, I don't think it's that time. I could agree with Foul. That would be awesome for them to join the heel elite, as you said, but I just don't see it happening this soon, man.
Let's move on, guys. Let's talk about this 21-man casino battle royale. I don't know, however you guys want to say it. 21 men. I don't know if they're doing the whole Tiff. Maybe you'll know. Was it explained? Is it going to be the 5 people coming out like the cards again?
They didn't say anything like that. I have a feeling that they're all going to be in the ring again or so. I would love that because that was fun. I enjoyed that.
You like the countdown with like the people coming out at once, like the card decks?
Well, no, yeah, the five. But I think if they were going to do it, they would have did it already. They would have announced it. But that was the whole double or nothing.
Right.
So I don't think that that's gonna happen. I don't know. I had this feeling that they're all gonna be in the ring at once because the pre-show starting at 7:30, correct? So
I think
the buy-in.
Uh-huh.
At 7:30.
I think it's before that though. Doesn't the pay-per-view start at 7? I think the buy-in's at 6:30. See what I'm saying?
They've got some red carpet. There's some red carpet thing, isn't there, as well? Like there's like a red carpet thing.
Yeah,
to be fair,
you need your damn calendar on your phone to know everything that's going on for this event.
But this is stacked. This is the most stacked freaking battle royale, like I like to call it. You know, it's stacked. Like, I mean, we had 3 of these, right? For the men through the year and a half that we've seen this. This is the most stacked I've seen of a battle royale.
I do like these matches where there's an opportunity on the line. It makes it feel important. I'm gonna come in. So this is how we're gonna set this up. I just want your prediction and one surprise person because everybody's not listed in here. If you guys don't know, Darby Allin, Lance Archer, Brian Cage, Ricky Starks, Eddie Kingston, The Blade, The Butcher, Buffalo, Fenix, Pentagon, Billy, who is Billy Gunn, Jake Hager, Santana, Ortiz, Trent, Chuck Taylor, Sean Spears, and I think there's going to be a surprise. So I want to just come out and say it first. I said it earlier, Tiff, so you know who I'm about to say. I think David Arquette would be a perfect surprise right now to have in this. He has been shit on for everything that had happened in WCW with him. It wasn't all this dude's fault. Trust me, he's actually a wrestling fan, and he came back, and there's a great story with him. So I would love to see David Arquette in this. Am I saying he wins? Hell no, I did not say that. I'm just saying he should get an opportunity to show off some of his skills in a larger wrestling company again. And as far as my prediction, I'm going to go with Lance Archer for the win. It makes sense. He's with Jake. I think it's time. He really hasn't lost. And the dude threw someone through a ceiling. Let me see more of that. They're going to turn him babyface, I think, real soon if he doesn't start getting the opportunity to crush some more baby faces. Tiff.
You know, I'm blaming Ray and I'm blaming Kyle because I think they swayed me on AP today. They really did. I hate you guys. You know that? I hate you. No. My gut pick before was Eddie Kingston, right? I'm a huge Eddie Kingston fan, and I love him on the mic. But everything that Ray kind of said, it's your damn fault, Ray, because I know you're in the chat. But like, I really love him, and I would love for him to win. But then I started thinking about it. He did lose to Cody, so I'm like, damn, it would be kind of weird just to go get that title shot right off the bat. But they started talking about, and I felt this way with Darby. I'm going to pick Darby Allin for this, and I was against it because I feel like there's so many more matches that we can go with Brian. You know, we still got to go through Brian Cage and Ricky Starks in this. But I just started thinking, I was like, ooh, I was like, this would really be good, and he's another fan favorite. And if we could have him even up against Moxley again, like, it would really, really mean something here. So I'm going to go with that. So damn you, Ray.
So who's your final pick?
Darby.
So you have switched.
I switched.
Right? Mission accomplished, folks. I feel like the show could end right now. Thank you. Have a good night, right? But,
hey guys, see you later.
Let's go to Foul next. Foul, who you got for this?
Wow.
Oh, wait, time out. Did you give a surprise?
What?
Who would you want as a surprise?
A surprise? What, I don't know. Number one husband? I really don't
Can
know.
go? Gango?
No, I mean, that's not going to happen. I mean, I would love that to happen. No, I don't know. I don't know. Something tells me like we're not going to get a surprise. Something tells me that the leftovers are going to be something like Joey Janela, Kip Sabian, Sonny Kiss. For some reason, I don't think we're going to get a surprise. I think it's going to be somebody on the roster.
Her surprise is no surprise. Foul. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I am going to agree, Conrad, with David Arquette. Oh my God, that's such a good idea as a surprise. And as has just been said in the chat, he just had a new movie done come out, so that would make a lot of sense. And I think Warner Media are distributing that movie, so that would make a lot of sense. But yeah, like, oh my God, this match, I've been such a fan of these matches. So first win, first of the win, I would say Brian Cage. Lance Archer, also, I have to agree, man. I think Lance Archer would be an amazing win for this. But what I see is probably Brian Cage winning it, and then Cage's and all the Tully and Tully's got him. No, sorry, Arn. They can probably have a face-off between those two kind of factions that seem to appear on Dynamite, like Taz's boys and Arn's boys. So maybe later on, and they can trade the championship opportunity between each other. So I think whoever wins it doesn't really matter because it will get bounced around a bit. But Lance Archer's an amazing win. That would really help catapult him. And if he had a legitimate title shot, then he probably would end up turning like face, wouldn't he? Because people love that dude. I love that dude. I think he's amazing. And anytime he beats up young lions, yeah, he is my Lion King.
So you're taking Archer as well?
Yeah, I'm going to take Archer, and I'm going to agree with you and say David Arquette as probably number 21.
Malik, who you got in this?
Okay, for the surprise, I
say Brock Lesnar. Let's just say it.
That's not going to be Brock Lesnar. Definitely not going to be Brock Lesnar. If it was Brock Lesnar, that would be insane. That would be like one of the most shocking things I think you would ever see. But I'm just gonna say David Arquette. I'm just gonna roll with you because I don't know. I can't think of anybody off the top of my head, so I'm gonna just roll with David Arquette. Which will kind of be cool because he's a big wrestling fan. So I mean, it could be a cool thing. And he he did the movie, some wrestling type movie not too long ago, I believe, that came out a while ago.
Literally came out yesterday. It came out 2 days ago.
Yeah, I think you can rent it. It's You Can't Kill David Arquette.
Okay. So is it like a Mickey Rourke movie, like The Wrestler type thing?
No, I think it's a documentary of what he was doing over the past year. It's got part of the Nick Gage thing, you know, which happened. It's like a documentary of him trying to get back. So this would be a great
story from that. So I watched the interview with him, and he said he thought he was signing up for a hardcore match. So if you watch like wrestling during the Attitude Era, you know hardcore matches. Oh, there'll be a table, maybe a fire extinguisher. He said he showed up to fight Nick Gage, and he was like, "Bro, what is this?" He was like, light tubes. And he was getting busted up. Oh man, it's a cool doc. It sounds like DDP plays a part, and there's a bunch of people. Definitely worth the checking out. But Malik, who are you taking for this battle royal? Who's getting the dub?
Oh man, it's so tough, bro. Because the thing with AEW is that they always can do things kind of unpredictable. Like you think somebody's gonna win, and then somebody wins that you just didn't expect. You know what I mean?
And they don't have to win either. Like Darby Allin, like my only concern with him is I don't want to see Darby Allin face Moxley again. We remember the last 2 times he did. The ghost of Darby Allin still walks around after the beatdowns from Moxley. I don't want to see him face him again.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be Darby Allin. To me, it's either going to be, you said Lance Archer or Brian Cage. They're the only 2 people I could see winning.
Who are you taking?
If I had to take one, I'm going to take Archer. I think you have to push him. Extremely, you know, I actually thought he was going to beat Cody at last interview for the title. When he lost, I was kind of surprised. So,
Me too.
I think you kind of revive him because he can be one of your top. You know, if they want to turn him babyface, it's cool, but he can be one of your top like badass heels. You know what I mean? Because he's believable. He's got size, and with Jake, you know, cutting promos for him alongside that, it's all money. So, I think Archer can benefit the most from this. So, I think Archer should win. But I wouldn't be surprised if Brian Cage won though either because he's a monster too. So
Tiff coming in with the breaking news for Synergy Wrestling.
Yeah.
Brandon Kirk versus Tony Deppen. I'm all about that.
Oh my god. Yeah. Oof.
Damn.
Let's go.
When's that?
September 26th.
That's the birthday show, right? The third one.
Yeah, Jordan Oliver versus Ace Austin, Fright Bear versus Warhorse.
Follow me on Twitter.
Yeah,
I think the promo codes, right? All three of us up at the top. Follow us, and those fight codes will be real. If you guys want to check out some Synergy Pro Wrestling, well worth it. Jesse, give me your surprise and your pick for this battle royal, brother.
I'm gonna have to go with Brian Cage. As much as I'd like to see Darby Allin take it, I'm gonna go with Brian Cage on this one. And for surprise, I'd love to see Rusev show up, but I don't know. That's my predict. Yeah, I would love to see Rusev in AEW. I think that he didn't get to shine as much as he could have in WWE. The dude is jacked now. I mean, he's best shape of his life. I don't know why he's not on TV. So
I don't think.
I wouldn't be mad to see a Ricky Starks win this too. Eddie Kingston. There's a lot of people. I even heard a great Sean Spears theory. I think it was from Kyle, actually, Tiff. Like, that's not a bad theory to give. Sean Spears has been on a roll. Why not have him win this? The person doesn't have to win the title. It's an opportunity, and it puts them in a better light, I think. What were you going to say, Malik?
Well, one, I know Rusev had COVID a while ago, so I don't know if he still has COVID or if he's recovered or not, but he did announce that he had COVID. But he also said, I mean, it could be a shoot, but he also said that he doesn't have interest in wrestling right now, so maybe he wants to take time off because of the WWE schedule. But you know, wrestlers could always say that to swerve people too, though. So you never know.
I was gonna say I'm gonna be that fan. He just said COVID so he could swerve us, you know.
I didn't know about the COVID thing, so
yeah, he said he had COVID. This was a while ago. This was like maybe 2 months ago, maybe at the most, but.
He's good, man.
He didn't have interest in wrestling anymore at this time, but you know, wrestlers could always say that because they don't want fans to know certain things. So
I do feel bad for Rusev because like you stake your claim and you say, hey, I'm not going to be a wrestler. Screw all you. I'm going to be a Twitch streamer, and then get immediately banned on Twitch. Like, that's some like big ball move right there. Like, I love Rusev, and actually that's a really good shout. Like, I've been trying to figure out like how you'd market Miro. Like, because obviously Rusev Day is fine. You got Miro Monday, Miro Mimosa. Maybe he turns up in the Mimosa match. Like, the Miro Mimosa match. Maybe he comes and shakes it all up. You were not even supposed to be here today. It's all right. I brought my wife. Who bought that tank from WrestleMania. It's all right. Wipe it down.
Bro, that guy had so much potential, bro. He went from coming out to a tank on WrestleMania to doing nothing, bro.
A tank he had sex on top of, according to Lana, if you believe her.
I believe everything she says, to be honest. I do, like, legitimately. I believe that woman and everything that she says.
Let's talk the AEW women's division real quick. We have a match that I'm actually looking forward to. We have my girl, Hikaru Shida, taking on the NWA Women's Champion, Thunder Rosa. I cannot roll my R's, so I cannot do that. But this is going to be a match. I thought Thunder Rosa and Serena Deeb crushed it last night on AEW Dynamite. This match should have not had all those damn commercial breaks in it, and I think that's what Tony was talking about on the media call earlier with the second half of the show. I just want to say, yeah, you guys obviously watched it on TNT, yeah. Over on FITE, it didn't break at all. We even got commentary, so we saw the whole match. It didn't go picture in picture, and they like every week normally they screw us over, and you hear JR go like, "Well, that's screwed those suckers for a bit. Let's wait till they come back." This week they carried on, and I think Excalibur pushed it because Excalibur kept going, "Let's just keep going," and they were like, "Oh yeah, okay, thanks for the people that are watching on FITE. This match is still going on," and they had some pretty cool stuff. So when you guys went to picture in picture, then you went to full commercial. We didn't have any of that. So that's why I was so pissed with the NXT match, because the NXT match, it went picture in picture and it took the flow away. This match on its own was really good. Like, and I hope that they put it out in a full version, possibly on YouTube, so you guys can see it all, because it was really good. Like all of it in one go. Yeah, I really thought that was a good match. Like, I'm saying hashtag sign Serena Deeb. Like, she deserves to be on that roster. I don't know what Thunder Rosa's status is, but she was great too. So I guess you guys can give your thoughts on the women's division, because the AEW NWA thing, Tony Khan brought it up earlier. He said that this is just a one-time kind of thing, but he's not going to tell you if they're actually in a relationship with them. This is things that could be decided down the line too. What do you guys think of the women's division, and who do you have winning this matchup for the AEW women's title between Shida and Thunder Rosa? Let's start with the Queen of the Indies, because I want to hear what she has to say about the women's division and this matchup.
The women's division, I kind of feel the same way that everybody else does. Well, for most part, is that the women's division could be better. I'm really excited. Again, Thunder Rosa. I mean, again, she's amazing in the ring. I love her. Seen her in the Indies. But I'm also a huge Shida fan as well. I love the fact that, hey, listen, guys got shot from the Indies over at, with Cody. So why not? This is huge. This is huge. Maybe the possibility down the line of that open door we have with NWA, and Tony Khan said on the press conference today that, this was a good relationship that Tony Khan had for this to work. He wasn't really looking to be working with a bunch of other people, but we don't know what's going to happen down the line. At least that door is open for the possibilities of what can come later down the line. But this is going to be a match stealer, I feel like. I think this is going to be good. And even watching Dynamite last night, this was something that Thunder Rosa needed. I didn't want a squash match last night, so this was a perfect way to build her. It shouldn't be like 1-2 minutes and that's it. So this was a really good match. But Shida's going to retain here because it's just going to make Shida look so good. It is. She needs to be that champ. So
I agree with you on that. I'm taking Shida as well, just to throw my pick out there real quick. I really think that Shida needs someone who can rise to the competition, and the only person I saw doing that was Nyla Rose. But how many times are you going to beat Nyla Rose or put her and Shida together in a match to have it mean anything? Foul.
So women's division, I mean, what do I say? I agree with Tiff. So there is a lot of work that needs to be done there, but this is going to be amazing. This is going to be one of those, I think, they call them watershed moments over here. I don't know if you guys have the same phrase, but a watershed is, like a seismic change. So this is a watershed moment, I think, for the women's division within AEW and possibly for the NWA as well. And the NWA are going to get themselves a massive amount of eyes, deservedly for some really good stuff. And they have the championship show starting 17th of September, 17th or whatever, like the week in a few weeks. Now, it's going to be live. That show is going to be live on FITE every single week from the NWA, and I think it's Universal Wrestling Network. That's Thunder Rosa's promotion. It's going to be done through Thunder Productions. So do you really think that Shida is not going to be turning up on that show? The question is Shida turning up to come and get her AEW Women's Championship back? Or is she coming up to have another friendly face off against the woman that she may have lost to on the week before? Because even though this is title versus title, it isn't, like, they haven't specifically said that whoever wins takes the title. They haven't really specified that this is even a title match. This could just be a nice exhibition match between two champions, which we haven't seen for a very, very long time. But it's bragging rights, isn't it? So I would assume that AEW win on their programming and NWA win on their programming. And then that pushes towards a potential partnership later on down the line. I love Tony Khan because he has the tell, and he doesn't realize when he listens to his media call, he gets super duper excited when someone asks him a specific question and he can't say it. So when he was talking about the NWA, he was like, yeah, the NWA happened because I'm pretty good friends with Billy. And, I didn't want that to happen. Things might happen. I'm very, very excited for Saturday. And he kept doing it like that. And I'm like, I love you, Tony. You're such a, you're so excited about all of this. You're so excited about your business. So I see this being what would have been the ROH relationship with NWA earlier on this year. I think there's a mutually beneficial relationship. If you look at what the NWA are doing, they have social distancing set up. So they have a full studio to go live every Tuesday. Now, AEW goes live on a Wednesday. That would link in together. And I think that would work really well. I think the winner out of this will be Shida here. But I want it to be Thunder Rosa, because if it's Thunder Rosa, she walks onto her show on next Tuesday and says, I beat the AEW Women's Champ. What you gonna do? And that's good for everyone, because that gets the AEW name out there. And as you said with Nyla Rose, that I don't feel like, and it feels like a disservice to them, but it doesn't feel like there are enough women on that roster that are getting the time to do what they need to do. And when you're basically told like 2 minutes before showtime, hey, do you want to go have a match? Maybe you're not in the right mind frame to have a picture perfect match. When you're sliding tag team matches between tapings because you want to film something else down the line, there's always going to be a chance for like some issues. But I really want Thunder Rosa to win. I really want her to win. She deserves it so much. That woman has like grafted her ass off to get to where she is right now. And if there's anybody that deserves a shot at like a little bit of like recognition, it's her. I very briefly before I finish, I read that she did a Fightful interview, and apparently she was potentially going to be like a referee in the WWE. She was going to sign up because she was that like disillusioned with wrestling, and she was a bit like, well, screw it, they're never going to sign me. I'm so happy she didn't. Like, I'm so happy she bet on herself.
That's a great point to end on, Foul. Let's see, Malik, who are you taking for this matchup?
So with NWA, what they're doing right now with AEW, me and you talked about it. This is what I want New Japan to be. This is what I want New Japan to kind of collaborate with AEW, because you can create those mixture of matches, and you could also do big shows for both promotions. So I'm hoping that AEW can become that. I'm actually going to pick Thunder Rosa to win. I'm going to be the opposite. I think Thunder Rosa is taking the win here. I really think this is going to be the match of the night. I think this is going to be match of the night, and I'm excited for this match. The promo package definitely sold me even more on this match. I'm sure you guys all saw the promo package for the match, but it was incredible. And Shida and Thunder Rosa are both great. I like them both. I'm fans of both, but I think Thunder Rosa is going to win, because I think, even though he said this is the one-time thing, I think there's going to be more collaboration with NWA and AEW, because I think they want to collaborate with other wrestling promotions. They want to be different than WWE. You know what I mean? They want, their champions to maybe go on different shows and have that freedom, sort of freedom to create other dream matches or other, opportunities for other people. So I think Thunder Rosa is going to win. And I think it could be a shocker, because some people, I think Shida is the obvious pick for a lot of people, but I think Thunder Rosa is the shocker. And I think this is going to be match of the night. It's going to be a show stealer. So I think the women's division hopefully can benefit moving forward from this, because I think there's a lot of things better you can do with the women's division, because they got a lot of great talent down there in AEW. And if they're going to collab with NWA, it's only going to make the women's division stronger. So hopefully moving forward, you can see better storylines and better stuff doing with the women's division on both promotions. But I'm going with Thunder Rosa for the win.
Okay, I like that. Jesse, what do you got for this one?
I fully agree with Malik. I think that this is going to be a swerve, and I think that Thunder Rosa is going to win. And, it just makes sense. She defended her title on AEW, and then, for her to defend it on NWA would be quite the thing to see. You know what I mean? She to come into AEW, sorry about that, NWA, and try to get her rematch there, possibly win the belt back there in NWA. I think it'd be great to see NWA and AEW collab. That would be an amazing thing for both companies. Lots of potential for the women's division, as you said, Malik. So I fully agree with you, man. I think that Thunder Rosa is going to steal the night.
And business-wise, I think it makes sense. I mean, it's going to make fans watch both shows. If Thunder Rosa wins and they do a rematch on NWA, it's going to make fans go watch NWA, because you saw.
Can you imagine the packages that they could put together after that?
Yeah,
like on both shows, you know what I mean? Showing stuff that happened in NWA as compared to AEW. So I think that'd be amazing.
It could be mutually beneficial. Like I said, there's a lot of criticism with the women's division. And I'll tell you this first. I was one of the first people that told fans you're wrong, as far as like, they need to give women more time and they need to do that. And I said, hold on, pause, guys. For weeks, I can screenshot tweets. AEW's women's division is the worst division. This is the worst. This person's bad. But then you're telling Tony Khan to put the people who you are saying bad on television with the most amount of time. That doesn't make business sense. That doesn't make money in my mind. I'm like, that doesn't work. And that's why Thunder Rosa's coming in, because something's not clicking with everybody. And maybe they'll see something like, oh, that worked. I need to do that. And they can kind of pick up on things and learn from it. That's why I want Serena Deeb brought in.
Tony said something on the call. Tony said something on the call which was very, very apt, and I think it was right. Like I've said a few times, that the problem with the women's division isn't that they're bad, and it isn't the talent. It's the time that they're given in advance, and then the problem is it's a bit of a vicious cycle where if a segment isn't getting ratings or drawing fans, you don't do it. If you don't do it enough, people then want it back, but then you have to figure out a way to do it. He had a very, very, very good point, and he said, I wanted Thunder Rosa and Serena Deeb to be the second hour match because that night was all storyline development, and I wanted two people who could wrestle. I wanted two people to put on a wrestling match, and that to me was high praise, and I think that that's a good sign for the future. And as you said, it makes business sense. No one's going to not put something on if it makes money.
Right. And he wanted women's tag team title, so it's not like he doesn't care about the women's division. He cares.
Even JR, I loved it. JR's on commentary. I don't know if you guys got that because it might have been in one of the ad breaks, but at one point he goes, this match is amazing. I might piss off some people in the back. And I was like, because he kept going, this is a really good match. Did you see me? He just kept going, this is a really, really good match. And there was JR being genuine, and you're like, if you get into JR as well, like you're getting through.
I think, like I said, I think it's going to be match of the night because you got two different styles here too. You know what I mean? That's going to mix together. So, like I said, business wise, it makes sense. You know what I'm saying? Like it's going to make sense business wise for them to, if they want to collaborate, which I'm sure both, like you said, Tony Khan's friends with the people over there in NWA is going to make mutual agreement. So it could open up opportunities for the people, and like I said, it can make you watch both shows. What if they did pay-per-view collaborations? Like, hey, we're doing an NWA AEW pay-per-view collaboration. You know, maybe sometimes you got to go watch NWA to see, you know, an AEW title be defended, or if you watch AEW. And some people who watch this pay-per-view may not be familiar with Thunder Rosa either. They may not even know who she is, or may not be familiar with the NWA product. So it can open up. Yeah,
that's a good point for people who are hardcore fans.
So that's why I think Thunder Rosa will win, because I think it's going to open more opportunities for fans to explore, because I think they want, like I said, they want to collaborate with other promotions. And I think, you know, they would have collaborated with New Japan if there wasn't the issues going on right now, what they had. But I think NWA could be that spot, and if it is, it's gonna be must watch because it's gonna be exciting. So I think, like I said, this is gonna be match of the night. I feel like I'm probably most excited for this match more than anything on the board. So
now that match is up there for me, but the next match we're gonna talk about is definitely the match I'm most excited for. So listen, we can go through and ask a bunch of questions. I think we can say F all that for this. For the AEW tag team titles, you can't go wrong with the tag match. You could say, oh, we're going to put Private Party versus the Young Bucks. They're going to crush it. You could put any team in there. It could be the Best Friends versus the Jurassic Express. They're going to crush it. And Kenny Omega and Hangman Page being in here just made it that much better. Two single stars as this long-term tag team. And FTR coming in, holy smokes. I have loved their matches where they are making teams wrestle old school tag matches. I saw them do a double clothesline with one person on the apron, one person in the ring. I was like, what in the Arn Anderson is this? I was like, okay, I can get down with this. They're putting the tag ropes in their matches. And before we get into this, guys, who is everybody taking FTR to win this?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you. So we're just not even going to do the prediction for that. Everybody's got FTR.
It's their time to shine now, man.
I want to hear the storyline, how it plays out in everybody's mind real quick. Like, that is what has my curiosity. And I want to hear Tiff first. What happens with this if FTR wins? What's the story with Omega Page? Do you have something in mind with FTR with this? Sorry, I don't want to throw the shocker up, but they've been doing this symbol with Tully. Yeah. And like, what is that? What's going on here?
I know, like
that Spanish wrestler's coming back. That dude from TNA.
And you wouldn't put like Tully with FTR if like they weren't going to win. I just feel like it just wouldn't make sense. Like, why would you put them? And then we talk about the whole thing with the Four Horsemen that's coming or whatever like that. But I also feel that and I know Conrad's heard me talk about this all the time, right? That I had said everybody's expecting Hangman Page to turn heel, right? I've been saying from the get-go it's going to be Kenny. It's not going to be Hangman. It's going to be like the biggest swerve that they're just going to get ready for that. But I don't know. I mean, me personally, like, I'm tired of Kenny and Paige as tag team. So I don't know. Something's going to happen. Kenny's going to just not care or something, or walk out. I don't know. I can't put my finger exactly what's going to happen here. I just think that Kenny's going to be the one that turns heel on this and not Hangman.
Do you think we could see another Revolution moment where, as you remember, they beat the Young Bucks? Great match. Probably up there for match of the year when we get to the end of the year awards.
Right.
And he grabs the ropes like he always does for the buckshot lariat, but then he drops his tag belt, grabs the ropes, and then he holds the ropes open for Kenny Omega. It was like, oh, great subtleties, because in our minds we're like, oh, it's happening. Like, oh, it's not. Damn it. They got me. And when you can get hardcore fans, you know it's good. So yeah. I'm gonna move towards Foul then. Foul, what do you have happening here for this matchup?
So I kind of agree with Tiff, yeah. Like, I don't see Paige turning heel. He's too drunk to turn heel right now. Like that's what I see. What I've loved about the Paige story this whole time is we've seen someone who had like started off like having a fun time, having a little drink, to being like essentially a functional alcoholic. And like slowly but surely that went from it being like all fun and games and laughing stuff to now it's being like really, really like scary, like uncomfortable. And when he came out on Dynamite and he looked like he'd been crying / drunk, like, you know, he had the puffy eyes and everything, and he kind of looked out and he didn't seem like he knew what he was doing. So I think in this match, I think you're right, we're probably gonna have one of those moments where potentially they could go either way. But I'm seeing them win the match. So I think FTR will win, and then maybe Paige will go and be like, everything's cool, respect, and that's when Kenny turns on Paige. Or maybe Kenny just goes backstage. Something along those lines. But I wonder if it's even the night for one of them to turn heel. I think that we've been like on the line for it and on the hook for it for so long that I want to wait a little bit more. I'd be happy to wait a little bit more for what they're doing. But yeah, I see them dropping the belts is what I say. But it's been a great run, and I've been so invested in this tag team storyline, which is something that I could never have said for a WWE two people thrown together storyline in a long, long time, other than possibly Cesaro and Sheamus.
Right. That's a good point. Malik, what happens in this one, buddy? What do you got?
So obviously we all got FTR winning. Obviously we all know that the Elite is broken pieces right now too, with the Young Bucks and, you know, Hangman Page and Kenny Omega. Cody, they're all over the place right now. Everybody's doing something different, but the Elite hasn't been the real Elite in a long time. You know what I mean? I think this could be maybe the potential end of the Elite for a while. Because at some point they're going to come back as heels. I feel like, but I do think Kenny will be the one to turn heel, and I don't know if it's going to happen Saturday because, you know, like I said, sometimes AEW likes to play things out. They like to extend things. But I feel like I think during this match, maybe one of the two shows they don't care as much during the match. Like, as the match continues to go on, maybe Paige, maybe he's a little buzzed or something. So I'm saying maybe he just doesn't feel it. Maybe he's not feeling the match, or maybe he just doesn't show that he cares. Or maybe Kenny kind of gives up in the match a little bit. Maybe Paige is getting his ass whooped, and Kenny just on the apron, sitting there like this on the apron, kind of just like, you know, like, what are we doing here? Like, you know, kind of giving up on it. Because you saw the last show, you know, when Paige went to hand in the belt and Kenny was outside the ring, he kind of just walked backstage, like, you know, with his head down, kind of shameful, you know what I'm saying? Shameful of his partner. So the storyline has been great, but I feel like, you know, this comes to an end because I think it is time to come to an end because I want to see these two fight each other now. I want to see Hangman Page and Kenny Omega have a feud. So I think maybe that's what we get out of this. Maybe we get a little bit of a feud between these two for a minute, and then at some point the Elite comes back together. And I'm going to be happy for FTR too, by the way. I want to throw that in there because I like what you said, that they get the old school wrestling vibes. I think we all felt that way when they were in NXT as the Revival. They always felt like an old school wrestling tag team. You know what I mean? They had the old school theme song. They came out with the jackets. You know what I'm saying? They had the old school, when they used to have the little the little stash, and cut down here and stuff like that, the little old, look. So I like FTR a lot, and I'm going to be so happy for them because they were very underappreciated as a tag team. The whole tag team division, WWE, is very underappreciated, but unless you're like the New Day or, the Usos or something, you know what I mean? So FTR for the win, and I think I'm going to say that they teased a little bit. They teased the feud between, because I think it's going to be a feud between Omega and Paige. I think they're going to tease it a little bit after the match. I don't know if you get the full, beat down or full heel turn yet. But I think they're going to start planting the seeds for it after this match. So, like I said, I think how this starts is that one of the two, I don't know which one of the two showed in the match, like, they don't really care. Like, you remember how, like, when they teased the Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio stuff, and when Rey would go for a tag, Eddie would kind of just stand there on the apron and not extend his hand out, kind of just stand there like, I don't really care anymore. I don't want to be your partner type stuff. I think we maybe kind of get that toward the side of it. So, maybe Kenny's on the apron and, Paige is going to get the tag, and Kenny kind of just standing there with his head down, and maybe just kind of saying, like, I don't want to be your partner anymore type thing. Maybe he just leaves and walks backstage, and then that's how they win. So I think it's kind of lead towards around that area.
Okay.
I was to say, I was there for the night on that SmackDown when he turned heel. It was filmed in the UK. I was so excited. I was front stage. I was like, oh my God, this is insane. I loved it. But I just want to say one joke before I forget it, which is afterwards, when Kenny Omega's like doing his heel promo, I want the following line. I guess me and Adam weren't on the same page.
Oh,
What do you got for this? Any ideas in this match?
I don't know why Kenny and Paige were tag team champions to begin with, man. But
well, let me be fair. I always tell people this. No one probably realized this. I don't know if it was Tiff who said it or Queen, but somebody mentioned that they've been tagging since the beginning. And I noticed that too. I'm like, they've been tagging since, I think, on the first or second episode of Dynamite. They were tag team partners.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
So they've always been partners for a little bit. I just think people never realized it because they would like take these breaks. They'd be singles, then they're back. Then he's like, "Oh, I'm teaming with the Bucks this week," or "Oh, hey, I'm going over here this week to hang out with these guys." So interesting. But what do you got for this?
I personally, I think FTR is the best thing going in AEW right now. They're one of my favorite things. I love the old school vibe. They can teach the tag team division and a lot of the people that are not used to working on that hard cam a thing or two about working live, and they have a lot to offer and a lot to bring to the table when it comes to this company. And I'm super happy. And if they drop the ball on this with them not winning the tag titles,
I think their matches have been reffed better though. Like I think they're really learning, like teach people like, yo, slow down. You don't need to do all this, and make the referee part of the match. That's another tool you can use. And I've noticed they've used it a lot. Like they did a tag on the outside. I was like, this is so freaking indie and stupid that they did like a tag on the outside. And then when the ref went to grab him, he's like, hey, you can't do that. And they're acting stupid like they don't know. And then they're using illegal moves. And I was like, oh, smart. Because I haven't seen it in so long that I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it's great. As for Adam Page, man, he needs to be pushed to the top. He's one of the better singles competitors in AEW, and I get why he didn't win the title at first with Chris Jericho when the the first showing happened. Jericho was that big name, right? And he has to carry AEW and make him notable. But I think that Adam Page has that it factor, man. I can agree with everybody here saying that Omega is going to be the one to turn heel and swerve everybody. I can definitely see that happening. But like I said, man, if these guys do not drop the titles this Saturday, I'm going to be pretty upset, man. I do not want to see these guys tagging and being the face of the tag division right now.
If I'm betting money, this is the match that I know I'm not losing the money on. FTR is winning those tag titles.
I feel like I want to plug one more thing in there too. So the FTR thing, I feel like they're probably honestly the best tag team in AEW right now. Like overall, wise, they've been a really good tag team for years, and I feel like there's been a lot. I feel like bad for Triple H in a lot of ways because he gives us so many good things in NXT. Like he'll give us good talents that he'll sign from across the world, or they'll help build into a star power, and then they go to the main roster and do nothing, and they leave and come to other companies. So he's like, bro, like I just helped you create other stars, and they just left to go to other companies to create a bigger company. So I think, you know, FTR has to win. I just can't see, like, I never felt like Omega and Page were like a legit tag team. Like, it just never felt there for me. Like, even though they were tag team champions, and they told a great, I like the story they've been telling with each other, but it's like, I just never felt like they were a legit team. You know what I mean? Like a legit team.
Here, I just want a fantasy book for 1 second. And I don't want anyone to think like, oh, this is definitely happening. This is just how I would do it if I had the chance real quick. You have a great tag match between these two. Hard to do, right? So you let them have their great match. Everything is set up. The Young Bucks are pissed off that Page cost them this shot. They're going to play a role in this, in my mind, to the point to where they're going to have to interfere at some point. I'm sure there'll be a ref bump, some type of interference in all of this. And I think it's going to be Page is the legal man. They come in, maybe they do some dastardly act. They double super kick him, whatever it may be. Maybe a super kick with a steel chair to his face. And Kenny sees it all, and they lose afterwards. And Page is looking for sympathy, like, yo, your boys just did this to me. How could you let this happen? And that's when Kenny maybe just says, you know what? F you, V-trigger to the face, and he beats the shit, and I mean the literal shit, out of Adam Page, because Kenny Omega, I think, has bigger plans in the future that I'm going to have to get to in a little bit here. But that's how I see it playing out. And I think the Bucks and Omega are going to be together because those three have always been thick as thieves. And when they turn heel, he turns heel. They've always stuck together. So I think that's the way to go with this. Let's move on.
I wouldn't argue that.
Yeah, let's move on to this MIMOSA Mayhem match. Chris Jericho, Orange Cassidy. I'm going to go first here. I got Orange Cassidy for the W. I don't know if Jericho takes a break after this, if the inner circle's done after this, but Orange Cassidy's winning. He needs it. He's the rising star, and I'm interested to see what they do with him after this because I want this feud to be done after this. Tiff, what do you got?
I had to bring it back out. I'm sorry. It's just like I've been doing this on everybody's podcast for like the last 2 days. So yeah, Orange Cassidy for the win.
I was wondering where that came from. You just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Been knitting this as you've been watching. That's what I've been doing. That's amazing.
But, just you know, Ortiz is going into the MIMOSA pool and because he can't swim. So you know, I'm just gonna leave it like that.
Okay, so that's a quick, easy prediction. File. Who you got for this?
I got Cassidy, and I just wanted to say this very quick tidbit that I guess you all know. Maybe you don't yet. But like in the UK, we don't call it MIMOSA. We call it a Bucks Fizz. And like I said this before, I was like, if the Bucks had a match against like Orange Cassidy, and they had like, if you guys were differently cultured than we are here in the UK, you'd call it Bucks Fizz as well. But like, it's just orange juice and champagne, isn't it? Which is actually quite delicious. And I mean, it's a great like side for brunch or just dow at like whatever time it is in the morning. But I've got Orange Cassidy, and I think it's going to be a hell of a match. I think that Jericho is going to go into the MIMOSA.
Me too. Rob said it even in the chat. He said, I'm just here for the soundbite. You son of a bitch.
It's going to be funny when he's going to have the best reaction of being in the pit. Like, you know, so that's why he has to go into the MIMOSA pit because he's just going to give like,
Not just that, but I love that he became Joe, but he was like, wait, $10,000 suit. So he's going to come in back, wait, 10. He's recently done all his hair. He's going to be like, you've ruined my hair.
Right. Jericho has been great for this company. He knows what he's doing with this. I have full faith in him. Malik, who you taking for the dub?
Orange Cassidy, 100%. Orange Cassidy is by far my favorite superstar in AEW. He's so entertaining, bro. This guy, a legit superstar, I feel like, bro. He has so much potential. And Jericho is one of the all-time best. I mean, at this point, people talking about him being in the top 10. He's squeezing in the top 5 now, if you ask me. This guy is incredible, bro. He's good at reviving himself. He's good at staying relevant. And he's like almost 50 years old, too, man. This guy is an absolute legend, bro. One of the all-time best in the history of pro wrestling. Doesn't matter what company. He's one of the all-time best. So he definitely knows what he's doing. And I think Orange Cassidy is it's gonna kind of be like the Matt Hardy and Sammy Guevara match. Orange Cassidy is the one that's going to shine here. And
Passing the torch.
Orange Cassidy's going to win. And I don't know what Jericho does after this, maybe he does something different. Maybe, at this point, I mean, Jericho gets to do commentary. He's good at commentary too. So maybe they keep him on commentary for a while until they, I think at this point, Jericho isn't really looking to maybe be in a main event spot. Maybe he's there to help people out more and kind of make AEW bigger than they wanted to get, you know what I mean? So Orange Cassidy for the win. And hopefully sooner than later, we get him as the AEW champion because I need to see him have the belt.
Jesse.
Orange Cassidy, 100%. Jericho's just been known for putting over that younger talent, you know what I mean? And like you said, he's been great in AEW. I don't think he's going to let us down here with the soundbite earlier. I mean, I could definitely see something like that happening. And he's always just been so fun to watch and to follow Malik. Jericho is one on my Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling. So, phenomenal wrestler. He's definitely one of the GOATs. So, I have no doubt that he's gonna give Orange Cassidy that rub that he needs. And I don't know where he's gonna go from this, but probably putting more guys over like he normally does.
I like it. It's going to make things interesting, especially for Dynamite coming up.
I want to know who's Mount Rushmore after this. I want to know. I'm interested now.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna say no gimmick infringement. Go and speak to Mags from Badlands podcast, the originator of that concept, and go and do it on there. Because he is doing amazing work. Shout out to Mags if he's listening. My British brother. I've spent literally 4 hours with him before I spent with you guys today. So yeah,
let's talk the AEW main event title match. I've heard Tiffany speak about this match. I feel like since March or May, I feel like every week we've had this conversation about who knew MJF was challenging next. Me and you were the only two people I remember seeing on Twitter. Yo, MJF's the next challenger. He hasn't beat anybody. I'm like, watch, dog. He's gonna be the challenger. So we've got Moxley versus MJF. I assume with Wardlow. I made this great comparison, I thought, on Dynamite last night. MJF's look throughout the entire night, talk about putting people through wood chippers. He reminded me of Goodfellas, The Godfather. He had this real Italian look, and he was wearing his undershirt with blood on it. He bit Moxley's face. He looked like a young Joe Pesci going crazy on somebody. And I don't know if he paints houses. If you know what that means, you know what that means. But this dude did a great work yesterday. Now, I just kind of want to go through really quick and have everybody just who do you have winning this and kind of why real quick. I'm going to start with Jesse first.
It's going to be MJF, man. He's undefeated. I think they're going to keep that going for a little while. I don't see him losing to Moxley. I see something happening because of how many people that MJF has in this corner. The numbers are just stacked against him, and he's a dirty fighter. And I just see that coming into play for this. MJF, one of the greatest heels that we have today, guaranteed.
So you're going MJF, new champ.
I'm going with MJF. That's my final, man.
All right. If you guys didn't listen to the All Elite podcast, Tiffany and Kyle had like a little preview of what MJF's theme's going to be. And it's like a 30-second clip. I want to hear the whole thing. Like, these wolves did it. It sounded freaking amazing.
He retweeted it, by the way, MJF.
See?
He just retweeted it too, so it's on his Twitter.
That little prick only talks shit to me when I said stuff about him on Twitter.
Oh, well,
you guys are no. He's a great heel. When he saw me, I was the first person in line. I had an AEW shirt on before the company started. He said, "Cue ball, come here. You're getting to take the first picture." He had no change. Number one, I was like, "Yo, you're a scumbag, bro. What do you mean you don't have change?" He was like, "You could take some extra pictures, buddy. Let's go." And I was just like, "This guy is a jerk." And I was like, "I'm the dude you were talking shit to on Twitter," and he was like, "Oh, my bad." They just started laughing and went right back to the character.
Mm-hmm.
Good stuff, dude. Absolutely love this dude. Malik, who's winning this?
I'm going with Moxley to retain. I think the feud gets extended. Eventually, MJF's going to win, but I don't think it's going to happen Saturday. I think the feud is extended to a bigger match, or a bigger, maybe like a steel cage, something, just some type of bigger match, where Moxley's able to use his finisher because he can't use it Saturday. And MJF is he's probably the best heel in wrestling right now all around. I mean, this guy is incredible heel. I like how he always maintains and keeps character no matter what interview he does or no matter where he goes. He seems like a real asshole. And people think he's a real legit asshole, which gives him more heat. So I love, MJF. He's incredible. And he's so young, too. He's only like 22, 23 years old. He's got a lot of potential in the wrestling business. So I'm going with Moxley to retain the championship. Maybe since he can't use his finisher, they'll have to come up with some type of finish. He can't use his finisher in this match. So somehow he retains and it extends the feud further down the line for a bigger match down the road, which MJF will win. So right now, not the time, I don't think, because I like the extended storylines that they do. That's one thing I think that really I think from wrestling that is missing right now is that the extended storylines. And I think sometimes fans don't have the patience for that anymore because fans are hypocritical nowadays. They'll ask for something and then 1 minute, the next week they change their opinion on it. Like you just asked for this 1 week and then the next week now you want something different.
Fully agree.
We all come from the era where storylines were extended, sometimes for years. Sometimes storylines we planned it out for years and years and years. I remember one of the storylines I had as a kid that I really remember. It was the Undertaker and Randy Orton storyline, which lasted from WrestleMania all the way to the end of the year. But it was always relevant and it always stayed fresh because they kept it fresh and fans were always invested into it. And I think that's what's missing nowadays, that fans don't have patience for longevity of storylines, which I really wish they would. But hardcore wrestling fans like us know it, and we understand it, and I appreciate what AEW does. So I feel like they're going to plan out the seeds for this storyline because there's so many good things you can do with this feud. It doesn't have to be one-off. Sometimes fans are hoping for a one-off and like, okay, what's next for this person? No, it just doesn't have to be a one-off. You can do a longevity feud for this that can last for the rest of the year, and it can stay relevant. I feel like so. Moxley retains. And at some point, he'll drop the belt to MJF. But now,
Foul. I'm going to cut over to Foul. I'm going to cut over to you, brother. Who do you got for this one?
Thanks. Sorry, it's ever so late, and as much as I love long storytelling within wrestling, I can't at this time of the morning. But thanks, man. So I think that MJF is probably going to lose here. More than likely, as someone said in the chat, shenanigans from the rest of the cabinet. I would think so, and I think that's the right move. Moxley is strong guy, and so is MJF, and he can carry on. He's already messed with his gum guy. He can just keep doing that for the rest of the Dynamites. So MJF to lose, Moxley to retain, probably with a submission finish.
Okay, Tiff.
Wardlow is costing MJF this match. That's all I'm going to say. Moxley retains. Mic drop.
Damn. I'm going to go with Team Moxley as well on this. I think Malik said the long-term storytelling. I don't see it as that. I think that there's going to be some type of shenanigans. Wardlow cost. I think Moxley is going to use his finish behind the referee's back or something, and he's going to get the victory here. But what this match needs to be is MJF's tough guy match, similar to Randy Orton versus Cactus Jack. Triple H versus Cactus Jack. The match that Shawn Michaels had with Mankind or with Diesel, he needs to get his ass kicked, but come out looking stronger, like he's a believable fighter. Maybe blood all over his face, and you're like, yo, MJF put on a hell of a match right here because Duke can wrestle when he wants to. And I think that's what's needed for this one. And I'm going to say this too. What's next up? I think Tiff's going to be with me on this. We always try to go to the next pay-per-view. Moxley Omega full gear after this turn. The rematch a year in the making. That's what I think is going to happen. And Omega is going to be the one to dethrone Jon Moxley. Early prediction. Yep. Boom. You heard it. Yep. But I want to run through real quick, guys, and give you your chance just to plug your channels and Twitters real quick before we get on out of here. So let's see. Ladies first. Tiff.
So you can follow me on Twitter at LovesToDream82. I am part of the No Holds Barred Network, so you can follow me on there. We have a website, NoHoldsBarredNetwork.com. You can find everything on there: Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all that good fun stuff. So, yeah.
Appreciate you coming on, Tiff. Thank you so much for doing this, Mr. Foul.
Yo, thanks for having me on. I've been literally on everyone's shows today, and I appreciate it. If I'm a bit short with anyone, it is because it's 2 in the funking morning. But I am Foul Original, and you can find me on Twitter at Foul_original. That's the best place to look for me. You can also check out my link tree, link.tree/Foul Original. Come and chat to me about wrestling.
Boom. Mr. Malik.
Follow me on TikTok, because I'm TikTok famous. No, I'm just kidding. Narcolepsy Boy 94 YouTube channel, Narcolepsy Boy 94. We actually got another draft coming up Sunday with my man Conrad. Everybody in the usual draft group. His squad versus my squad. Another wrestling draft on Sunday. Instagram, Narcolepsy Boy 94 as well. Make sure you guys follow my contact, and thank you for having me. Appreciate it. My man Foul. I just want to say, since you're from the UK, I think at some point y'all gotta have WrestleMania. I'm gonna stand by it. WrestleMania needs to happen in the UK at some point. They got some of the best fans in the world over there in the UK, man. One of my dreams is to go to a wrestling show over in the UK at some point. So appreciate you guys for having me on, and make sure you guys follow everybody on here. Everybody's great.
Jesse.
Yeah, you can follow the Pro Wrestling Shoot on Facebook and Instagram, and then you can follow me on Twitter at Carter Inc. CARDERINC. Yeah, come listen to the shows on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iTunes, wherever you guys get your podcasts. We just dropped a new episode today with Micah Taylor and Tracy Taylor. If you're not familiar with them, go learn yourself up, man. They're definitely underrated. Great listen to the stories that they have, man. It's a lot of knowledge fed to me. Thank you guys for having me on the show, man. I appreciate the opportunity.
No, listen, guys, I appreciate you coming on. It was a long round table, but we had a good discussion about all things.
Sorry, I just wanted to say before I'm going, wrecking your format again. Thank you so much, Conrad. This is one of the last shows I'm going to do before I start like a real life job again next week after 9 months of being a hilarious internet bum. Thank you so much, mate. I always enjoy being on your show, and thank you so much for these new people that I've never met before for having me on like 2 in the bloody morning on a Friday morning on the almost last day until I go through. Thank you so much, mate. It's been really, really thanks. Thanks for the rest of the year as well, man. A lot of people don't realize Conrad does a lot of work in the background supporting people. And I am one of those people that he supported. And I want to just say thanks, man.
No, I appreciate you guys for doing the show. Thank you. I promised Tiff she'd be out of here at 9. She's already doing overtime, and I can't afford to pay her.
Sorry.
So, thank you guys for coming on the show, and thank you to everybody who came in here. Casey, go back and check out everything. It was a great listen. Thank you so much, and enjoy All Out. We'll have a review this Saturday after the show goes off the air, so make sure you check us out. Peace.
Everyday pro wrestling, they can never be you. Listen to the podcast for the people, the best show that's here, so listen in. Let the knowledge begin, the opinions, the lesson, yes. By the fans, for the fans, not many in this can understand, this the podcast to show you who I am, Conrad Cushman, the legend in the plans, please listen every day to the showcase, the opinions and knowledge that anyone can take, showing you how it is done, proving I am number one, what a legend becomes. This is now my time to show you that I am here. This podcast just to make it loud and clear. By the fans, for the fans, not many who's here can understand everything pro wrestling, they can never be you. Listen to the podcast here for the people, the best show that's here, so listen in. Let the knowledge begin, the opinion and the lesson, yes. Everyday pro wrestling, they can never be you. Listen to the podcast for the people, the best show that's here, so listen in. Let the knowledge begin, the opinions, the lesson, yes.
Are you looking for the newest and hottest in the world of pro wrestling? Then check out the amazing action on Powerslam.tv, the biggest indie pro wrestling channel in the world. Get over 6,000 hours of the best events from over 150 of your favorite promotions from 20 different countries around the globe. Brands like Progress Wrestling, Evolve Wrestling, Combat Zone, Defy, PCW Ultra, PWX, Over the Top, Shine, and hundreds of others with fresh content added every day for only $5.99 per month. Get your free trial today at powerslam.tv.
What's going on, Everything Pro Wrestling listeners? It's your boy Jesse Carter over at the Pro Wrestling Shoot podcast, where we run special interviews with independent wrestlers, also former WWE and TNA stars. Pretty soon we're going to be having the Matt Sydal episode drop, so you need to come and check that out. And you can find us over on anchor.fm/the Pro Wrestling Shoot. Also, we are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere you get your podcasts. The show also covers reviews from old and current events such as pay-per-views, AEW, WWE, whatever you're into nowadays, we will be covering reviews on that. We also have a little bit of music artists join us on the Pro Wrestling Shoot, also dive into belt collecting and hobbies of all kind. So yeah, as soon as you are finished with everything pro wrestling, why don't you come on over and check it out and tell us what you think. You can follow our Facebook page at the Pro Wrestling Shoot. We are also on Twitter at Carter Inc. That is CARDER INC. Also Instagram at the Pro Wrestling Shoot. You can also find us on YouTube and Twitch. Coming soon, we will be doing live streams of the show on YouTube at the Pro Wrestling Shoot, and same with Twitch at the Pro Wrestling Shoot. All right, Conrad, back to you, and hope you all enjoy the rest of the episode from Everything Pro Wrestling.
Everything Pro Wrestling, it's your boys from the Everything College Basketball Podcast and Facebook group. I'm Josh Burton, letting you all know that if you like the college game, that there's only one spot to come find all you need to know.
Yep, Josh, Peyton, and myself, Tyler. We are the three voices of ECB podcast and Facebook group. Peyton, tell them where they can find us and listen to us at.
Well, Tyler, you can find us on Anchor, Spotify, iTunes, Google Podcasts, and all other podcast hosting sites. Also, go join our Facebook group, facebook.com/groups like Everything College Basketball. So if you want everything you need to know about the collegiate game or have a passion for it, there's only one spot that you need to check out on a weekly basis or a daily basis with the Facebook group. That's Everything College Basketball. Now let's get back to Conrad informing you on everything pro wrestling and the workings around it.
Brother.